Hello and welcome back to the Liminal Branch Library, the archive in the seams. I'm your Archivist and Librarian, Mordio Crow. And today we have, once again, our three guests here at the library for more of Root, the RPG, Severance Payback. Finally getting back to our weekly schedule, starting with all the way over there, Amasha playing as Ember.
Hello.
And in the middle we have Hamboom playing as Milo.
Hello.
And then nearest to me, Nova as Miffy.
I didn't do it.
Yes,
You're going to be hearing that a lot.
Yeah, we're going to hear that a lot today, because last time, our Vagabonds, to say they committed a murder would be jumping towards the end of what happened. Really, they were working with a group of young revolutionaries who wanted to see Dion's Den freed of Marquisiate control. These revolutionaries were doing this by starting a few fires and trying to convince the members of the town that the Marquis couldn't protect them, amongst all the other crackdowns that have been happening due to the war front getting closer to town. The youths were hoping that this would spark a riot, a revolution. But the party caught on that not everything was as it seemed, and as they got ready for that big inciting incident, the Marquis had been tipped off by an extra figure behind the scenes. It turns out that the one keeping the revolutionaries supplied with quality gear and information was also playing on the side of the Marquis as well. A Riverfolk Company merchant, one whom Miffy knew already. Confronting this merchant, violence ensued. Miffy killed the fox, stabbed an ally to make it look like the fox did it, and then
if whatever prosecutor can prove that, I guess we can say that's what feasibly happened, but I don't know, the jury's still out on that.
Did I have motive? Yes.
Did I have the means?
Wait a minute.
Also, yes.
Is Miffy a perfect person? No.
No, I killed that guy.
But yeah, so
wait, we gotta do that bit, actually.
Yeah, that would be a good bit. That would be a good bit. But finish the recap. Not only did Miffy do all of this, but unfortunately Milo, in an attempt to make a distraction outside the house, actually came off a little bit suspicious as well. And Ember's acting was clocked by one of the guards as a little odd. So suffice to say that when the party was taken in, though the wounds are being treated of Otis. Miffy, are you hurt too? I forget.
Didn't you say that, like, with his dying breath, he, like, did something to me?
I think he tried, but I don't remember if he succeeded or not.
I thought you just had him do it.
Did you have injury marked on your thing? No, you just have exhaustion marked.
Probably just exhaustion.
Yeah, so you're just fatigued. I think he did lunge, and I think you avoided it, is what happened. But
okay.
So Otis, whom again Miffy stabbed, is being treated.
I think it was the captain who stabbed Otis.
Yes.
If my memory serves me right.
And Otis will tell you the same.
He better.
Otis definitely will. So I'm going to move us to the campsite, because you are brought, away from the town and into the camp, where the Marquis have set up. This camp, of course, once again being in the direction of Ironroot, the place that you came from, as this is the new frontline fortification, I suppose. It's not like, trench warfare or anything. There's no eerie soldiers in sight, but this is the first line of defense against any eerie incursion to Marquis territory. And you're brought by the pair of guards to one of the tents here. You're attended to by a physician and kept under guard yourself. They do search you for any weapons, confiscate them, though you don't get the impression they took them far, but just like, like, we're just going to take these for now. You can have them back if everything's all right, kind of deal, right? I think it's, unless one of you wants to try to conceal a weapon, which I know, Miffy, you threw yours down because you wanted to pass it off.
Yeah, mine's gone. But can I just keep it in my inventory just if I pick it up later?
You can hold on to it for now, but as long as we remember that you don't actually have it.
Yeah, I don't have it though.
And Milo, you yote your bow to
so
not
I'm just
have
gonna
something
leave that
incriminating. Yeah, that one can probably come off. If we find another one,
it's in someone's chimney or in the hands of someone who probably shouldn't be holding on to it.
Yep. And then Ember, do you have any weaponry? You do have a baton if you would like to try to conceal it within your clothing somewhere, or if you're fine with just giving that up.
It's fine. I came from the eerie side of the woods, and it's kind of stick-like, so it's just like, I mean,
it's just
between here and there.
Yeah, like they're not gonna think that you're an eerie agent if they're like, give us your weapons. You're like, yeah, I have this thing, right? They also know that you came from that direction, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's understandable. You can keep it on your sheet for now as well, but just keep in mind that you don't actually have it on your person at this moment.
Yeah.
All right. So when Otis is stabilized, not that Otis was dying, but when the wound is no longer getting worse, when it is now in the process of getting better, cleaned, dressed, etc. A familiar at this point, you've seen him around a couple times. Face comes into the tent where you're being kept. A short cat with long puffs of hair, kind of stocky, gray cap and paws. This is Lieutenant Charles Minuet, the leader of the local Marquise forces. And he'll look across the four of you and say, the reason that all of you are in such an accommodating place right now is because of one Killian Champenois, who spoke of your exploits upon your arrival.
My guy!
Now, I would encourage you to be forthcoming about why you killed a reputable merchant of the Riverfolk Company, and perhaps the Marquis can be lenient. And he waits for you to explain yourselves.
Is this our interrogation phase?
It seems like it, though. Unlike an it's a softer interrogation, right? In a true interrogation, they probably would separate you, etc. You've been arrested before, right? You know how that works. Like, the fact that you did come here... But they're not going to take us separately. Yeah, they're not taking you separately. He is legitimately giving you a chance to justify it because of your reputation arriving, right?
Wonderful.
Now, granted, the fact that the leader themselves is here and not one of his lieutenants is also, it's both good and bad, right? If you can convince him, great, you're in the clear. And if you cannot, well, then he's the one who gets to say what happens, and that will probably happen immediately. So, keep that in mind.
Okay. Well, it's really quite simple, Lieutenant. He's a lieutenant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's really quite simple, Lieutenant. We came to approach him because we had suspicion that he was behind the arsons around that's been happening since before I even came here. And when he saw me, well, to be honest, we had a bit of a history, so he knew he couldn't really lie. Mm-hmm. He straight up admitted it. And when he was quite certain there was nothing I could do about it. But then my young fellow over here, Otis, well, he got a little angry. Who could really blame him, right? His town's been set on fire. So he went to grab at him, but the captain, he didn't know how deep it was going to go. So he started to attack him back, of course, and I tried to get them in between them. And what do you know? a canary cutlass comes out. And I grab it from the captain, and there's tussling, a lot of high energy happening, and he was going to do something real awful to Otis. I mean, look at him, he's injured. So I did what any good friend would do. I grabbed the cutlass, and well, things happened. And unfortunately, the captain died.
I take my hat and I put it over my supposed heart and go, God rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
The lieutenant listens to the entire tale, which you did tell, I think probably a less dramatic version of it to the guards as it happened, or maybe more dramatic, I guess, since they were arriving. But he nods along, and then with the air of someone who could be convinced but perhaps isn't quite yet, says, well, then let's start at the beginning. Exactly what led you to believe that the captain was behind all of these recent fires? Surely if you went after him, then you must have had some reason to do so.
The
Of course,
DM
well-
told us.
What'd you say?
The DM told us.
The DM told
We
us.
rolled just well enough or poorly enough to find out.
Well, I knew when I come to a new town, I like to know where the company is. You see, like I said, we had a bit of history, so naturally I began following this guy. And what do you know, like any company fellow does, is that he tries to take advantage of the situation. Now, didn't you find it suspicious that a fire happened, but you guys knew that it was going to happen? Now, my fellows, we saw those waters over there, and so we were quite relieved that it was going to, if anything should happen, you guys had it handled, of course. Well, I confronted him, and he straight up admitted playing both sides, you and the Eerie.
So if I understand this, you are saying that you discovered this in the act of killing Captain Kazak, and then, because of the risk of fire, you were at the scene where it was going to happen, and it was stopped.
No, I wasn't there.
Sorry, not
My
you, not
fellows
you.
were.
Your fellows. Yes. The rest of, so let me rephrase. And so knowing the risk, the rest of you, you would look to Milo and Ember and Otis, were at this scene in order to address it should it occur. But despite this, you noticed that we were well prepared for it. And so even seeing that we were prepared, you did not inform us of your suspicions and let this incident happen.
Listen, you can't just accuse someone without any proof.
Yes, so let's continue on that, actually. Who exactly started the fire then? It sounds like you knew that it was going to happen, and one of you was the one who put it out. And seeing as you did not inform us, surely you had some way of knowing how it would begin.
I mean, not really. We had some inklings, but we didn't know the full thing. We had suspicions, but we had no concrete evidence until that happened. Now, this is just a theory, but it lines up perfectly if you ask me. The Eerie have been the ones trying to set the blaze. I mean, he has all this equipment. He has the means, and he has the money now that you guys rewarded him, and I'm sure the Eerie has done the same right before this even happened. Listen, if you want to investigate there, that's fine with me. We're not detectives. We're just a group.
loose acquaintances that kind of edge. I mean, I myself, while not in the room for when the dirty deed was done, I was simply
There was no dirty deed. I don't know what you're talking about.
the
unfortunate incident.
Yeah, the incident, shall we say. I was just sort of busking around the area, and well, I am acquaintances to the accused. I simply was wrong place, wrong time. I don't like that.
Yeah. I see. So it is a coincidence then that you who were at the scene of the fire was also at the scene of this. Makes eye contact with Miffy. Unfortunate incident.
I mean, we do pal along. Sometimes, not every minute of every day, but you know, I'm a performer by trade, and I was simply trying to go down to where the honest working folk are, and you know, raise their spirits. And then, you know, the next day, I was trying to go into the more rich quarter, if you know what I'm saying. Diversify, I believe the term is.
Looks over the group, turns to Ember, who hasn't said too much yet. And what of you? Were you also a benevolent soul seeking to stop the flames?
Well, I didn't know anything was actually going to happen. I heard Miffy talking about something maybe, but I didn't think anything was actually going to happen. I mean, it's right there in the logging area, you know? Anyway, Milo's a great act, and I wanted to help out. And so we went up, and I thought I would keep an eye out just in case things happen, but I wasn't expecting it to. I was having a good time with the songs. And then shit happened. It was not great.
And so then I am to believe that after this shit happened, you three went to go hunt for who you believed was the suspect. One of you...
No. 4 of us. Right, Otis?
No, he's leaving out Milo. He's leaving out Milo because Milo's like, we were just coincidentally... Sorry, yeah, we were just coincidentally in the area.
All 4 of us. We were definitely there during the time.
Oh, goodness. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want that to keep happening. And
my stuff is here.
Yeah, all my
there's
stuff
a lot going on, and I wanted to know the truth.
He nods along to this, thinking. A few more questions, if you would indulge. So, the incident happened. There was some time between between the fire and the subsequent unfortunate incident during which you did not choose to contact us or notify us. Presumably because, as you said, you had no evidence. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
And so...
Do more of that.
I mean, people have been coming to you guys about the fires for how long now?
She's got a point. You haven't solved it yet, did ya? Then all Miffy, Ember, and Milo come along, and boom! We catch them.
It's not that it wasn't a thought, it's just I wanted to make sure. And not just throw more blame around.
Yeah, you know, Ember was a part of the community this place before you guys showed up. Did you know that? She has invested interest in this town.
Yeah, you know, when you point fingers, you have a various amount pointing back at you.
Various amounts.
And other such things.
Other appendages, maybe.
Maybe you lost one in a game of crafts. Who knows?
We're getting off topic, but
He listens to this back and forth and says, well then, typically, even if you were correct, and Captain Karzak was behind these fire incidents, the extrajudicial murder of him would still be punishable by the Marquis. However, if it's true that you acted in self-defense, and I think as he's weighing this is when I'm going to have the party make a roll. So the good news is everyone spoke a good bit during it. I think we'll roll persuade, even though it's not really using promises or threats. I think in this case it makes the most sense, right? So we'll use persuade. I think Miffy did the most talking, so I think Miffy makes sense to be the one who rolls it. But since both Ember and Milo gave input, the two of you could theoretically help if you need to. So the way that works is you would, after the roll is made, you'd mark an exhaustion to add a +1, but only if it makes a difference. And before the roll is made, there was one particular argument that you all touched on that I have in my list of things he would be swayed by. So I will give Miffy a +1 as well.
Sweet.
So
what was it?
oh, which one?
Yeah, what did I say?
That's a good question. Yeah, I'll let one of you roll a retroactive cunning. Looks like Ember or Milo, you both have the highest one. Whichever one of you wants to be the fated one to roll it. Anyone can figure it out. Whoever succeeds. Who wants the burden?
I can.
Okay. Oh,
Nice. Nice.
All right,
good.
Ember. You probably noticed. I don't know if just like a slight shift in his demeanor when the topic of the Eerie came up, and the Canary Cutlass, right? Giving a plausible alternative set of suspects or actors seemed to play into what the lieutenant was thinking. So that's what gave the +1. So now, Miffy, roll your persuade.
All right, this uses charm and not cunning, which is good for me.
Ooh,
All right.
charming.
All
Do
right.
I get my help?
So
+1, right?
So you get +1, so that means as long as one of the other two assists, which you've already assisted by saying it, you just need to mark the exhaustion to gain the extra +1. You can turn it into a strong hit.
Do you want to use the exhaustion on Ember? Because I'm at 2 exhaustion right now.
Yeah, this will put me at 2, but we got this.
Yeah.
I also have 2 already.
We all got 2.
Yeah,
We're
it's
a little
bit
sleep after this.
Yeah, party's just a little fatigued right now, but that's okay. And so he continues from where he was. But if, as you were saying, it truly was self-defense against an agent of the Eerie dynasties, then I suppose we would have no choice but to commend you for your actions taken and let you free at the earliest opportunity.
Yay.
Now, you should be aware, we will be thoroughly investigating Captain Karzak's home for any signs of his collaboration. And if we find that you were lying, you should expect a visit. But otherwise, I think we have our hands full. Clearly there are Eerie agents in town, and they need to be rooted out. The 4 of you are
Well,
free
then
to
I
go.
expect to not see you, because we told the truth. Goodbye.
Mhm. All right. So,
Cut
Otis
to-
is Otis.
how what?
Thank you for treating Otis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otis is wise enough to keep his mouth shut for as much of that conversation as possible, and until you are out of earshot of the camp.
Oh no, I'm injured. I can't speak.
And I mean, also,
He's traumatized. The boy's traumatized.
the lieutenant didn't seem to care too much about Otis, except for the role that Otis played in putting out the fire. But otherwise, once you are all free of the camp, Ember, you get your weapon back. Otis would look to the three of you. Well, I guess it's good that we took out the captain. He's cooled down a little bit from his anger earlier, perhaps because he was stabbed. Perhaps because he had to hide the anger while getting treated for this. Might be for the blood loss, you never know. It's like, it's good that we took out the captain. A traitor
Otis,
playing both
listen
of us,
to me.
but...
Otis.
Yeah?
You need to make sure any evidence that you were involved in the fires is gone. Do you think Karzak would have had anything, notes or whatever, about giving stuff to you? Would be off the books? Anything he gave you? Throw it out right now.
You know what would really get rid of all that evidence?
Fire!
Yeah. Gotta really go for a fire right now.
I mean,
sadly.
yeah, Milo's not wrong, but yeah, Otis would.
Man, that Kurzak was so much into flame. His house even burned down. It's crazy.
no.
Oh my god.
Ways to be suspicious. Otis would.
Oh, we'll be way out of town by then. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe not Otis though. Otis might still be in town.
New NPC party member?
Some of us live here.
My campaigns usually do have a tradition of adopting exactly one NPC into the party, but will Otis be that one? Who knows? Who knows?
We already have a
He needs
fox.
to get rid of evidence.
Yeah, we already have a fox.
Yeah, we need to diversify.
How about a hedgehog?
Oh. Yeah, but anyway. Otis would listen to the destroying evidence instruction and nod along. Like, it's a shame. A lot of it is good quality, but you're right. If we get caught with any of that, we're screwed. And you heard him. He's going to use this as reason to crack down even further. I wouldn't be surprised if a curfew gets announced in the next couple nights.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Listen, you fought a good fight, but this might just be one of those things where you have to hang back for now. You're young. You're a young guy.
Yeah, he's again, potentially due to the blood loss, has very much calmed down and seems to be listening to the yeah, maybe we need to destroy the evidence and lay low for a while. Right?
Listen, we need you to destroy all this evidence to protect the most important thing in the world, besides Dion's and besides the whole woodlands. Us. Amber and Miffy.
That's right. Don't forget who saved your skin.
Right.
Also, given that this went like this and it's not your fault, but
It's kind of his fault.
maybe work with the other organizations already working under the radar here instead of just ignoring them.
I hear arson is very good on the resume in the gangland empire scene.
Or maybe go straight to the mayor. It seems like he lets people talk right over him. You probably could talk right over him and get things done.
Yeah, I mean, maybe now that you don't have the funding, maybe you should put the ambitions we put on you about being the leader to bed. That's just a thought, no?
Well, work up to it. Work up to it.
Yeah.
You
Accrue your own power.
God,
Yeah,
I
or
feel like
shadow
there's
puppet the
conflicting
mayor.
signals of what should be done by Otis. Just like
He's not going to remember any of this. It's fine.
You get the forget. Do you have the forget me stick?
No!
forget me stick.
Oh, of course.
Oh, thank you. Bonk.
Forget me juice? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, minion.
So yeah, as you go to as you head back into town, I assume checking to make sure you're not being trailed or anything of the sort. To destroy the remaining evidence. I think Otis mentioned this before to you, but like when you mentioned like working with the other criminal groups, Otis sort of grumbles about that and about how it's like none of them really care who's in charge so long as they can do their stuff. Like, they don't care if it's the Marquise or if it's the Erie, as long as they have someone above they can empty the pockets of.
And they're good at it.
And you're right.
And they stay away from the radar. Maybe learn something.
Yeah, maybe learn something. He thinks, and he thinks the way back. But the evidence is destroyed. I'm gonna say it probably is in a fire, but not an arson type fire, in a controlled, like a furnace, like a furnace in the back of a house kind of way,
If you have to get rid of the drink, we're more than happy to get rid of it for you.
Well, I've still got it.
Yeah, just like, no, nice. I got that part. That wasn't confiscated, actually. They didn't take our drinks.
I got drinks. Don't worry.
All right, and then we smashed the bottles.
All right. I know Milo was eyeing a second set of drinks before, so if you guys want to grab the second set of drinks too, while the rest of the stuff is all destroyed, feel free to do that.
This is compensation.
Yeah.
I'll take one with me since I got rid of the bow.
Yeah, we'll say that there's a total of 3 sets, but Otis and his group want to keep one for themselves for sad drinking. Yeah. So you're welcome to the second set.
Fair. I'll take.
If you want to do a bit of role play, I'm just gonna put my bird away.
Yeah, sounds good.
So it cuts to us in Onadir's den as we're all hastily packing our things, about to skip town.
Yeah, is that the plan now? Skip town immediately? I mean, it can be. It certainly would make sense.
I don't think it has to happen immediately.
At least leave where our known lodgings, perhaps. Maybe not leave to the town.
Fair enough. Just in case. So if they do start looking for you, you have at least a little bit longer to figure it out. But where would you stay if not here?
Well,
I turned to Ember. So, your mom,
yeah, okay. She I didn't love hosting, even if it's just for a night. Please.
Okay.
I can't promise she won't be embarrassing.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, if she can perhaps get us in contact with, some of those older gangs, maybe we can, I don't know, it'd be nice to establish a little dialogue with them as well. Just a thought.
I mean, I guess they're all my mom's friends,
I see.
It's fine.
Well, that's an in,
It's not a bad thing. I'm glad she has friends. It's just weird.
I know. It's because, some of them, like, you considered family, and then you realize, oh, they're not my uncle, sort of thing. Yeah.
No, they're still technically considered my uncle, if anybody asks.
Oh, I see.
I'm back.
Okay.
Hi, we're going back to my place.
Yeah, we're leaving right here.
Wait, want to bring her some of the drinks?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Onadir or your mom?
What?
Onadir or your mom?
Oh, my mom.
I'm going to leave one of the bottles with Onadir. It's like, Onadir, nice. My dear, you have been such a gracious host. And, strange about that fellow Miffy introduced you to. Odie was his name.
Gives the wrong name intentionally.
Yeah, he seems like a good sort. Just mixed up in some business. He almost got bopped for, but you look after him. He seems like a good lad. And I sign a few autographs and I start to head out the door with one hobo mindle slung over my 2 shoulders and my 2 vestigial shoulders.
Yeah, to be clear, when you say sign autographs, are you saying this to Onadir and family while you're there, or are you leaving it on the note? and then leaving.
Oh no, I'm assuming Onadir is also watching asleep.
Okay, sounds good. In that case, she'll understand that it's time for you to move on. We'll be very grateful for the autographs. And as you leave...
And I also left her a bottle.
Yeah, and the bottle. Oh yeah, we'll certainly be grateful for that as well. And as you leave, make sure to call out, like, make sure to let us know if you get any more performances in town. We'd love to come. You know.
They may be in town, but they may be at perhaps in venues that are further back in the dam. If you're fine with that.
Just tell us. We're not too far. Like we're in Midtown, you know.
So, what groupies?
That's literally what the ability is, right? It's like roll and succeed, and you get groupies for the town.
Amazing.
So yeah, you know, if you end up having another performance, they'd love to be invited. So
yeah.
All right, we go to Ember's house while growing up.
Oh, you guys don't want to say goodbye to Onadir either? Or?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure her kids have already been arguing with me about pronunciation of various names.
Miffy, just Irish goodbyes.
I don't know if they were ever fond of me. I didn't really stick around, to be honest.
Well, who are we talking about?
Miffy who?
You're Miffy.
Oh.
I do like the move Adoring Fans because it's really good on Strong Hit, but I'm also very curious to see what happens on Miss, which says you meet a fan with good intentions who immediately makes your situation much worse.
Oh no!
So so as often as I can, I'm gonna be trying to aim for that.
Yeah. So whenever we arrive at town, we'll find out. Probably depends a lot on the circumstances of you arriving in town, right? Like, but yeah, that's fun.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyway, all right. So we're heading to Ember's house, Ember's parents' house, which you make it to easily enough. This time, when you arrive, your mother's out, but your father's home.
You have a dad? For some reason, I thought it was just your mom.
I know she gives off that air, but no.
I mean, she did seem like a strong, independent woman, but that just means there's a strong, independent man behind her. What?
Yeah, this is my dad.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Hi, these
anyway.
are my friends.
Yeah.
Mom's
Good to
already
see
met
you,
them.
Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Ember's dad?
Mr. Ember's dad, yeah. So he greets you all when you arrive. Oh, yes. Carmine told me about you. Told me about Ember's friends.
I forgot the mom's name was Carmine.
I'm Mutan. It's a pleasure to meet Ember's friends. Are you... Looking at you carrying all your stuff. Ember, are you staying
Just
here?
for one night? Just one night. Do you mind if we stay? Just one night.
There's a smile on his face. It's like, mind if you stay? No, of course not. I'm sure your mother will be thrilled when she gets back.
Yeah,
I'm sure she will too.
Just when we can clear this exhaustion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, let me see. Wait, when clearing exhaustion, that happens at very specific moments, right? Or very specific types of moments. It might happen overnight. Let me double check that real quick.
Specific this moment?
That's what I'm trying to check on right now. Let's find out by me opening the PDF, searching, looking for rules, harm, exhaustion.
We're all standing in the foyer and Mordio.
I can
Voice
clear
in
my
the sky.
exhaustion track when I overindulge in vices like drink, food, and gambling.
Oh, nice.
Bet you won't gamble this night.
I always lose to mom.
Yeah, so you can clear exhaustion by fulfilling your nature, as Ember just said, or by sleeping, recovering, taking a break. Getting a nice rest in a real bed is the best way to recover exhaustion. Usually one night is 1 exhaustion. Actually, it does say you can get 2 in a denizen's home. So, that
This counts.
this would probably count if we make it through this. If we make it through this night safely, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Let's find out first.
What's more comfy than an own
It's not
NPC's house?
it's not the comfiness that's under debate here. It's the will we make it
break
through the
all their
night
pots.
safely, right? You
Break out their pots and see what I can get it from them.
It's the we clear it at the end of the rest, not at the start of the rest. That just that. But keep that in mind for later.
Okay.
Hey,
So just-
Milo.
Yeah.
What was the deal with you saying you weren't with me at the time? You were just there coincidentally.
Oh, well, listen,
And we just pal around sometimes.
now, Miffy,
Yeah?
I do anything for you, but sometimes the best thing is to, distance yourself, especially when it comes to the guards,
Well, you looked more suspicious saying you weren't with me than you were when you're away from me.
Listen, people can go around town without their friends close by, and if they meet up, that's nice.
Just behind the door?
I was outside.
Yeah, outside the place that I was definitely self-defending myself.
No, you were. I assumed you were at least past the foyer and a hallway, at least, not just in the
Hey, Dad, you
living
should have
room.
drinks with
I
Mom.
don't think that matters that much.
Your father takes the drinks and says, "Oh, this is some nice stuff. I'm sure your mother will enjoy it." He raises his voice slightly just to speak to the other two. I've heard that sometimes when lying you want to keep things simpler. The more lies you layer, the easier it is for one of them to cause the whole to unravel.
A fellow Ace Attorney fan, I see.
Who is that advice to?
I've heard it 500 times, so.
I mean, just he throws that into Miffy chastising Milo about what was that about? Just throws that in there and then turns back to Ember.
Yep.
So where were you, big guy? No. I'm talking to
okay.
the what's his name again?
Muton.
Mutot. Where were you, big guy? I didn't see you the first time.
You've been here before? You
Well,
weren't
wait,
here before.
have we been in
No,
this specific house?
No,
or-
you were at a bar earlier.
I came here before on
Yeah.
my own.
Yeah, and you met
Okay.
Ember's mother at a bar. So
Okay, never mind. He's a stay-at-home dad. I respect it.
well, he wasn't here when Ember was here last time, but that's Miffy can make that assumption if Miffy wants to. A stay-at-home dad with no children in the house.
They're retirees.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Have a good life.
Yeah. No, they do. They do. And so he'll ask Ember. So your mother tells me that you were up to something. I don't know if she didn't share the details or if she didn't have them. He ends there
Yeah,
with
it
a look
worked
that
out.
says and how did it? Yeah, how did it go? Worked
It
out.
worked out. We're good.
And because it worked out and you're good, that's why you're deciding to come stay here now for a night.
Yeah, it's cozy.
How well do you think Ember's parents can see through her bluffs? Do you think Ember is really good at deceiving her parents by virtue of growing up under them and having to in order to express her freedom, or do you think that she's never quite surpassed them in that regard?
I think it's a dice roll.
Okay, all right.
Which
Sounds
one?
good.
Which one?
Probably cunning. I
Yeah,
think.
that tracks.
Miss.
Dang.
Oh no.
Tried.
He would nod along as you're saying that, and then add, "Well, as long as you're not bringing any potential trouble here, then I suppose there's nothing to worry about. But if you were, and he lets that hang for a second, right? Like, but if you were, if that was to happen, you know, sort of like I was telling your friends, you want to really be sure. You want to keep things simple. You want to not be in more than one problematic situation at a time, because if you get caught for one, you might get caught for multiple. So it would just be good to be aware if there were any risks involved, and keep them in mind as you rest tonight. He's not so subtly hinting to you that if your parents get caught on anything illegal because of your activities, that's disappointing.
Oh no!
That's disappointing, you know?
Disappointment of father.
That's a permanent buff you can never get rid of.
Yeah.
Or debuff, rather.
Yeah. No. Now, granted, Ember, you don't know, depending on the scale of it, they might still help you out, but, you know, they might get upset if you drag your trouble here and get them caught on unrelated stuff.
Unrelated. Yeah.
Right, you know, like that's all he's saying, but he's not kicking you out or anything. He's just, you know,
there should not be any issues. I would just not show off anything from the Erie for the next little while.
He nods and probably moves to put some things away, right? Your family has a collection, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
And it rotates as needed, so.
Yep.
And while he's putting things away and things are getting settled in, Ember, your mother, gets home as well, and she's wearing this necklace that you haven't seen her wear before. But it does look vaguely familiar. It's pretty ornate even for her.
Is it the one I gave her? No, I gave her a simpler one.
No, yeah, you gave her a simpler one. And she comes in, "Oh, Ember and friends. Good to see you, good to see you."
Hi.
Sorry,
Hi.
I hope you're not offended. I took off your gift. I did just have a fresh accessory to try on for a bit.
I was going to ask about that. I'm not offended. I'm just curious.
Yes, I happened to notice that something, who knows who, she looks at you, Ember, seems to have had the Marquise running around the last couple of weeks. And wouldn't you know it, the mayor's mansion was a bit less guarded than usual. So I found he happened to have misplaced one of his ceremonial necklaces. This is eerie vintage.
Dear.
And like she'll take it off to let you like hold it and look at it, right? It's like,
oh yeah, she's
century old at least.
Ooh. Yes, I can tell. It's very nice, and I'm
certainly not wear it around every day style, but you know, you have to just once or twice feel out the weight of a new acquisition.
Oh, of course. It's very nice, and I'm sure that it is. Oh wow, my brain just blinked. Sorry.
That's okay. Happens to me all the time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you, just to let you know, I think Erie-related fashion might be, out of style for the next week or so. Maybe starting tomorrow.
She cocks an eyebrow and looks at Ember to see if there's going to be any further explanation or not.
Just nods. Dad's putting away some of the other stuff if you want to go talk with him.
I see. Well, I'll put this away and the gift that you gave me as well, and we'll make sure that nothing is too out of place for the next week or two. Appreciate the heads up. And she'll head off and make sure everything is tucked away. Is there anything in particular you all want to do before settling in and resting for the night?
That was actually one of the main things I wanted to come home for, to tell her, hey, maybe don't wear that necklace for a bit.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Womp womp.
Yeah, I love you, and don't wear it. And I already raided the pantry once earlier.
Yeah.
But I might do it again.
I mean, if you're staying the night, I think they certainly expect for you to eat while you're
Yes.
here. So, I guess here's a question that I don't think came up when we were doing character stuff. Is there, how does cooking go in Ember's family? Does your family cook a lot? Right? Like, does everyone do some of the cooking? Or is it something where your family's more of the use the spoils of their activities to have someone else do that job, right? And go out to eat more
I
often.
never thought about it, actually.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure they have some food around either way, right? Like, certainly there are times where they want to lay low, and so they keep things in reserve, regardless of culinary talent. But we have some flexibility if you have an idea. If not, I'll come up with something on the spot instead.
I do not have any thoughts.
Okay, so here's...
Yep.
I was going to say... Oh, you were about to say other than, so let me... What's the other then?
Other than technically they're retired, but I don't know if that implies anything.
Right. That's fair. Technically they are retired, just for the occasional golden opportunity that occasionally, pops up.
Yes.
But yeah, I think something that might have happened, right, is that your father he has his phases where he gets into new things just to do something else, right? Life is too the same right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so at some point when Ember was younger, maybe it lasted a couple years, he got really into cooking. And he acquired some skills there, and now he doesn't do it as much as he used to. He doesn't get as into it as he used to. But he has the ability, he has some nice equipment, etc. from that time frame that he can draw upon. So maybe since you are visiting and it's a special occasion, he'll break out some of those skills once again.
Hobby hoarding rewards itself.
Yep, exactly. He certainly is someone who... I don't know. I wonder if hobby hoarding... Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense, right? He picks it up. He doesn't really lose the skills completely, right? Mm-hmm. But some of them are more relevant than others once they get abandoned, let's say, right? Some are a little bit more esoteric. The cooking one, that one's useful beyond the phase.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of not as useful skills, but I really feel like every skill is useful.
Underwater basket weaving is the quintessential. What?
Of course.
Yeah, if there's a dam breaking.
Yeah. What were you saying, Miffy?
Lead that sucker back up.
Yeah, fair. Miffy, did you have a suggestion for a useless
No,
skill?
I just said that's a spirit.
Yeah, there you go. Fair enough. So you have a meal prepared for all of you. I wonder what would be something good. Probably a variety of different things. Like a bunch of different small plates. Different mushrooms, different fruit dishes, different grains, all prepared, and they just get sent out to the table as they're done, and everyone just picks at them over the course of an hour and a half, 2 hours or so.
Appies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but we got sidetracked by Ember saying that we did the thing that Ember wanted to do. Is there anything else you all want to do?
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I will probably ask at some point if any of my siblings have been home since I left.
Oh, good question.
Just curious.
Yeah, good question. Hold on. Let me see. Where did I put the sibling information? Siblings. Oh, I only have it in our Discord. I don't have it in my notes file. That's not good. I'm disorganized. No. It's unfortunate, but I usually am the least organized when it comes to player character information, because that usually happens in private Discord channels, and then I forget to consolidate it.
You're good.
Yeah, I think you've been gone for what, a couple years now? Is that right? Or so it's been a couple years. I think there's like, maybe half of them have drifted through at one point or another. Never staying for long, you know how it tends to be. But
Yeah.
I do like to see everyone moving. And when she says that, your father adds, the one shame of having a collection is that it's hard to stay on the road with it.
Collection of kids?
No, that's definitely not what he would. No, that's not what he was saying.
Cats in the cradle and the soul.
Considering what parts of the collection they just had to go hiding, it's probably a little bit more of a material collection he's referencing. A little bit more of a dragon's hoard, if you would. Yeah, and like Ember, you would know your father certainly does get the wanderlust as well, but it does sound like or siblings have been through, but you probably get little bits and pieces of their highlights, or like what's been going on with them recently. But I, the GM, don't have anything written down, so we're just gonna say you get updates on little bits and pieces.
Cool. You can reveal them if they ever become relevant.
Yes. Yep. And you settle in for the night to have her. Oh yeah, actually, I guess one more question. You mentioned maybe asking your mother about people to talk to in, like, the other groups. Were you going to do that tonight as well, or were you going to hold off?
Probably hold off, because tonight is about, all right, we survived, and now we sleep.
Okay, sounds good. So, all right, we survived, and now we sleep. And you get your 2 exhaustion back. Hooray!
Nice.
I was just being finicky to increase tension. You're fine.
I was sure you were going to pull something with her mom.
Not
shit,
yet.
hold on. Nope, that's not right. Oop, there we go. Sorry. I was pressing the wrong button.
I need a new weapon.
Oh yeah, you guys are now pretty undersupplied too.
Yeah, does your Pops, you got anything you're not really fond of that, or maybe would be better off your hands as something incriminating that you'd rather put on me, like a knife?
Yeah, I like the dancing around it until the last 2 words.
Like a knife.
Pulls up a chair and points to the table, like, he's like, "Can I have this?"
Most of the weaponry we have is either of the is more of the artistic nature, which isn't to say that it couldn't hurt someone, just that it's less useful for it than other things, or of the culinary nature, of which I am loath to part with. So, you may need to find your own your own tools of violence elsewhere.
Pussy Willow.
Whoa!
Pretty.
Milo, language. We're guests.
Milo.
I mean, Miffy.
Actually, said my own name there for a second.
Sorry.
Milo was telling himself.
Sorry, that's part
of the booze.
That's part of my internal monologue. Sorry about that.
No
But
worries.
it does apply to you too, Miffy.
Oh, what did you say?
It applies to you as well.
Oh, because I said Pussy Willow?
Oh gosh. Oh, we're not getting invited back.
I didn't realize this was a den of young maidens.
Yeah, so as I said, the night passes. The next morning, I assume, is when this conversation takes place. But yeah, it sounds like you're probably going to either need to spend your own money to get a new weapon, or you're going to need to indulge. What's your value on your character sheet?
Miffy is priceless.
You have a value of... Oh wait, yeah, it says starting value.
I have 2. Starting value, and I don't know what that means. I have 2 left, or...
I think that's 2 left. I think the intent is like you sort of spend it and then it like becomes stuff that you carry around, but maybe I'm wrong there.
And then carrying?
Carrying? Is carrying? I think is your
your-
load. That's how much
Okay.
stuff you have.
So I also have 2 starting value.
Okay, so you guys have some money. It's not a ton of money. There's a whole formula for figuring out how much stuff is worth. But basically 2 I don't think is going to buy you very much, but I'll take a quick look.
Well, actually, would it be really, really stupid of me if I were to ask the Marquis to look around in the captain's home?
Oh my gosh.
For
Or, see what I want to get updated on the company. I want to see what they're doing right now.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh, okay. I mean, it would draw extra attention to you instead of exiting scene left, but up to you if you want to go about doing that. You got away with it so far. Just don't put it in danger.
Yeah, I'll ask the captain. If he doesn't want me near the crime scene, then I'll let it go. But hey, if he wants me to, if he says, I'll allow it, then I'm gonna go. Because I did nothing wrong. Hashtag Miffy did nothing wrong.
If he did nothing wrong.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. So for some quick context on value before we move on to that, a very simple dagger is worth 2 value. So
2 value?
you're not getting
oh my
anything.
God.
A basic sword or bow is, or shield or anything like that is 3 or 4, depending.
Jeez. All right. Well.
So you're much more likely to need to swipe it or work for it at this point. So
All right.
Work?
Well,
Ew.
I'll think about it.
yeah, we'll think about it. All right. So are we going off to the captains, or are we talking about criminal contacts first?
We can do criminal contacts first.
Yeah. Also, you might have better luck finding cheaper things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not better quality, but like maybe cheaper.
Maybe free.
Maybe Freeper.
Don't hold your breath.
All right. So you talk to how much of the game do you give away to your parents? Because certainly the more you tell them, the more useful their advice can be. But if you're just like, hey, we need to know some people for some reasons, they can tell you some people, but will they be the best people? I don't know.
For gathering purposes, I'm willing to share more.
Okay. So you're being open with the like, hey, look, we know some people who want the clearing to be free of Marquis rule, basically. Who do you think would be willing to help it? Is that how you're basically doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like, I know it's not on everybody's hit list right now, but like, it's gotta be on someone's.
Mm-hmm. I think when you say that, your mother does like a little, like what were those little, my, politics. Now that's one form of crime I've never gotten into.
Damn.
But if that's what you're looking for, I think I see your problem. Anyone who's active already has their own racket going, really. Whether it's the Marquis in control, the Eerie, or just some arbitrary mayor, they have their own ways of existing under power. If you really wanted to see Dion's Den free from the Marquis, then I think you'd have better luck looking for some who have, rather than looking for anyone who's still active, look for those who have sway, right? Those who their opinion, for those who are still active, they hold their opinions in high regard because they were successful. I can think of at least one, and then your father says, I think I have a second. And then they like look at each other, and she's like, really, you think so? And he's like, for some people. I was like, all right. Well,
So what you're saying is we need to get rid of the mayor.
well, so the first 2 people we think of, your mother would say, is there's a she's a performer these days, an acrobat, but certainly you can imagine what those sorts of skills would do to someone in prior, she does air quotes, employment. Yes. She had a particularly good find about 15 years ago, and thanks to that, thought she was set for life. But it turns out being good at making good finds and doing acrobatic tricks doesn't make you good with finances. So she's been performing lately to maintain her lavish lifestyle. But despite that, to many, she's a rogue who made it. She did heist after heist until she did that one last job, ended up with a large piece of property and out of touch, the law couldn't touch her. If you could get her invested, then I think her words would inspire some others. And then your father would add, there's a merchant. I don't know if you remember him, Ember. I don't know if you went with us. He actually made, and he would gesture to one of the nicer tables in the house. He made that table over there. And you can see it's got all this really intricate detail work with tiny little carvings of plants and woodland creatures all throughout it. Another success story. Someone who made a living transporting goods across the lines of war. Now, he's a bit more controversial in circles these days because he did make a deal with the Marquise to go legitimate. He burnt a lot of criminals who were supporting the Erie a bit more than the Marquise, and there are still some who hold grudges.
I put up my clause now, when we mean burn, do we mean in the social political sense or in the literal sense?
Social political.
Okay, good. We've just been in the world of the other one. Well, I guess both, but both of almost equal measure.
But unlike our acrobat, he's actually managed to turn it into something successful. He's built himself up as an artisan in the years since. He has a network of suppliers and buyers that could be useful to any would-be revolutionaries, in addition to being inspiring. And to that, your mother cuts in, to some people, infuriating to others.
Damn.
They give it to you straight.
Mm-hmm. And here, as they're talking out loud, can I have a quick cunning roll from, I don't know, anyone who actually who's really thinking on this problem can make this roll. I'm just looking for a weak hit or higher, right? This isn't a true move. This is something I think someone might add.
Go for it.
Yay.
Ooh!
Oh, damn.
A strong hit. It came up as a joke earlier, right? But maybe it marinates a bit in the back of Milo's head. Because it also came up as something you guys said before to Otis. Mayor Blith Nightsong is in fact the legal ruler of the town. It's technically speaking, the Marquis is here in military force, and practically speaking, the lieutenant is the real leader. But legally speaking, the mayor is still the real ruler. And as you've pointed out, he can be talked over quite a bit. If somehow you were able to convince him that the Marquis needed to go and Dionstead needed to go independent, it would add a lot of legitimacy to this movement, right? If you could, right? Not saying you have to do that, but that's just something where it's okay, that's theoretically plausible.
Wait a minute, that was my idea. I've been saying the whole time, puppet the mayor, like a little devil on the shoulder. No one listens to
replace
him.
the mayor.
Well, we were trying to replace the mayor.
Well, then the second thing I said was shadow puppet the mayor.
Let's take someone else out of the equation, and we'll just get the mayor. I'm sure I've been a vizier, a treacherous vizier, quote unquote. in my time, I'm sure I can get to him.
By take someone out and get to him, you mean the lieutenant, right? Is that what you mean? Or
get to him, in his favor, in his ear.
Oh, I see. I misunderstood I thought I heard take someone out in there somewhere, so I thought you misunderstood.
No, I can do that too, but if we need power, I think we should just take the mayor.
And
he's giving me real former Lord of Ironroot kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
Except for he's the current Lord.
No. He's given former.
Given former.
Depends on which way the wind blows.
At this year,
these Eries and holding government positions.
What's with the Eries, the people who used to control the woodland, controlling the woodland?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Great question.
It's almost like some arbitrary decision made it so they were ruling a bunch of stuff and then fell out of power for some reason. And improperly defined terms and conditions.
Yeah, well, Drug. But as you're talking about turning the mayor, I think, Ember, your parents find that idea incredibly amusing. They're just watching this idea be tossed back and forth. And as that starts to die down, your mother says, "Oh, if we're talking about birds, you should convince. You should convince that old starling on the edge of town. That would be funny." Doesn't even give you a why that would be useful, but gives a that would be funny.
Do I know his name?
You would 100% know who this starling is because he's a little bit of he's a character.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, I figured.
Oh my god.
His name is Azure Gran. He is
Azeronde Grande.
He was a big advisor to the Erie government before it fell, and they kicked him out for being too pessimistic about their chances against the Marquise. Turns out he was right? But they exiled him from town, so he went and lived in the woods. And in the decades since, the town has expanded to the point that he's now on in the edge of town, right? And he hasn't moved.
Azure?
Yeah, so
starts laughing.
Yeah, look, I'm just saying he got it right before when he said something was gonna change. So I don't know, maybe he made it happen, or maybe he knows something that could be useful. But she's saying that with a healthy amount of laughter. Right?
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't really believe it, but since you brought up talking about a bird, it's like, why not?
Why not indeed?
Oh, I think Otis would enjoy talking with him.
Actually, speaking of Otis, do we know if Otis is in better condition or?
I think you can assume Otis was treated by capable medics, so I think you can assume Otis will be improving over the course of. Hold on, where's that harm recovery tab I just had open? To recover injury, it takes someone tending to your wounds and then a week or two of bed rest. So he's recovering as long as he doesn't overexert himself.
Yeah, he's not going to be doing anything for a while.
And you were there when he burned all of their remaining supplies, so, he doesn't have any stuff to do anything for a while, so probably safe to assume he's resting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ember, your father says, okay, if we're getting a little bit more practical with our completely out there ideas, and wasn't there that one soldier about your age, Ember? What was his name again? Your mother thinks for a second and says, right. Darren, right? He's a major now, I think.
Darren?
Yeah. That's to that, the father goes, that's right. He's from Dion's Den, and he's been trying to diffuse conflict when it's happening over the past couple months. Now, he's pretty far up there in the Marquise military, so I think he would be hard to sway. But if you could, and it's just sort of gestures, like, if we're just going into fantasy here, why not just turn the Marquise to fight itself, right? Convince one of their soldiers to, But after that one's thrown out there, They toss out a couple more names, but end up shooting them down between themselves. And it seems like these 5 are your most... If you are invested in provoking a revolution, these 5 are the ones you likely would like to, try to convince. Now, granted, some of them might be easier to convince or more useful to convince than others. but here's the 5 that as I present them to you. So it's also up to you guys if you want to go grab Otis for this or if you want to go out on your own.
I mean, didn't Miffy want to do something else first?
Oh, that's also true. You want to try to get more information from
I mean, you could figure out like what you guys want to do for like your overarching plan for this town, but like my thing's just like an extra thing, so.
Yeah. I guess like perhaps we're trying to win hearts and minds. Because thinking back to our previous excursion to town, we were basically just captive there, so we had to skip out as soon as possible. But we somewhat have a good reputation, or at least a not notorious reputation in this town. So,
oh, actually, that reminds me. Before I forget, can I have everyone mark a positive reputation with the Marquis for convincing the lieutenant that you did actually stop the incidents?
Oh my god!
And a
seriously?
negative one with the company for the Marquis being like, and you killed the company person, And if they're asked, because they have business relationships with the company, right? So when asked, like, hey, what happened to our captain? Be like, he was killed by these 3 people, but he was doing some things illegal. But
so I'm at 3 check marks for.
Let me check to see if
notoriety.
Let me see if it goes when you reach full or if it's at the next one. When you mark enough boxes to reach, not pass, reach the next highest number, your reputation increases or decreases if it goes down. So if you're at that 3 down, then you can clear all 3, and then you click on the -1 for that faction.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Nice.
The company hates you more.
All according to Keikaku. Keikaku means plan.
Miffy note. Yeah.
Myth note.
All right.
Meanwhile,
No, I don't like that actually.
No. I'll take a plantain chip.
That's really funny.
Meanwhile, I am 1 checkbox away from a positive with the Marquis.
Yeah, I think we're all like that, right?
I'm 2 away. Oh, I just
okay.
accidentally made it 10 boxes in the denizens. Was it?
I think you were at 2. I had everyone's character sheets open because I was curious. I think you're at 2 on denizens.
2. That was the one I just got, right?
No, that was
With
plus
the
1. That
Marquis.
was plus 1 to the Marquis, not plus 1 to the denizens.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, I saw plus 2 or 2 boxes on each before you did your
Okay, so it is plus
your
2.
thing. So as long as you applied your Marquis one, then you're good.
So I should be at how many?
That looks right to me. I assume as long as you applied the Marquis one when we said apply your plus 1 to Marquis earlier, then
Yeah.
you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just misclicked, so I had to
Yeah, I think
figure
you're
out what it is.
They should really have an undo button for that scenario, but
Yeah, roll like a rollback or something.
you know what? I just realized we're recording this. We can just check. Oh wait,
Nah,
no, you can't see your
I'm
character
not
sheet on the
recording
thing.
this.
You're
Well,
right.
we'll just check later.
You're
It's
right.
fine.
It's fine. Moving on.
I'll do some community service if I need to like up or
Yeah.
down my reputation in between sessions.
All right. So, with that information on potential people to interact with to facilitate some revolution and to ruin your nearly full Marquis reputations, because certainly they won't like it if you revolt a town that they control. But
True.
If they
I don't-
know it's us.
you're right. That's if they know it's you. If they know.
Oh, we
Because,
got positive points for killing a guy.
It's true. You did get positive points for killing a guy who was ostensibly someone working against them. Keep that in mind.
That's true. Yeah.
And this wouldn't be the first time I have a campaign where the player characters just be like, do not perceive me if you are in power, right? Just like, it's like, we want things to happen, but we do not wish to be perceived. Other people will do those things at our behest. So if that's what ends up happening, it's what ended up happening. Yeah. So, all right. But you have your 5 potential people to talk to. Miffy, you wanted some information, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think so. You go and you ask the Marquis. Like, there's probably guards at the building still, right? And you ask them what if you can look around inside.
Yeah, with your permission, I'd like to check around what Barkus, right? His name is Barkus?
Barkus? I don't.
Marcus?
No, the guy who I killed.
What? Stefan?
Scrolling up.
I don't think
I
it
have
was
no-
Stephen.
What's his
Stephen
name, then?
Karzak.
Karzak. Why did I think Barkus? Where the hell did that come from?
I
Is there-
don't know.
Is there like
Who's-
a dog?
who's
Is there a
Barkus?
dog character we don't know about?
I don't know. Karzak. Yeah, I want to see what he was up to. Like I said, we had connections and stuff in the past, and I just think that I need to see what's going up with the company.
You explain that to one of the guards. Fortunately, we'll just say fortunately one of these guards does recognize you as being relevant to the situation. This isn't just like someone who this is a complete surprise to. Would say, we have already searched through the scene, but if you would like to look through it, I'm sure that the lieutenant would not mind as long as you are accompanied.
Yeah, feel free.
And so one of the guards will break off to walk with you through. Let's see. I think one of these moves probably works out well for this. Is it? Oh, it's not really a tense situation. What would I? Let's see.
Figure someone out.
Oh, you know what? I could see this being a figure someone out, in that you're trying to figure him out post-mortem from his from what he's left behind, right? But because
Use your charm to figure it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it's post-mortem, maybe you could use a different stat, but your charm's actually probably better than any other applicable stat here. So
yeah,
we'll let
unless
you.
I
We'll
can
let
use
you.
might somehow.
Probably not, if I had to guess, which I don't have to. So I'm gonna say no.
All right, figure someone out.
Let's give that a roll here. All right, a weak hit. So you are able to ask a clear question, right? Like there's some sample questions there if you want to. You rely on one of them, but you probably have something specific in mind.
I want to know who he's been in contact with lately.
Oh, who he's been in contact with. All right. So I, the GM, once again, do not have a name for you, just like how I didn't have Ember's sibling information, but I can tell you the gist of who he's been in contact with, which is specifically his supply chain runs through Marquise territory to Velox's Bend. If you check the map, actually here I'll activate it so that the stream can see the map too. So his supply chain runs through Milltown up to the Bend there, which is a company-controlled town, right? Like not Marquis controlled where the company's operating, not Erie controlled where there's some mercenaries. Like no, this is a company-run, they legally own the land here town. So that seems to be where he's been sending most of his communications. Though you can't quite see any there's nothing incriminating, right? Like that gives away that he was the one doing the fires or etc. But it seems like that's where a lot of the stuff that you can clock some of the things that were given to Otis, like some of those fancy drinks are probably the most traceable of the lot. Like you can clock them as having come from that area of where it seems like the company's really set up shop and really extending their tendrils. The impression you get from these documents,
I didn't know they were octopi.
they're otters. Well, no, I'm just kidding. This guy was literally a fox, right? Like
Yeah,
not
this guy's a fox.
technically speaking, any species can be a part of any faction, but so from what you can tell of their communications, and completely unsurprising to you, is the company is more than willing to operate under another faction if it means profits. But generally speaking, it means more profits if they control, if they control the clearings. So you can see why he might have been trying to get himself in good over here. But Miffy, let's see, what was your question again? It was like who he was talking to, right?
Recently in contact with,
Yeah,
yes.
recently in contact with. Yeah. It's like, as far as you can tell, though, it doesn't seem like this was an order from up high, right? These requisition orders seem to be a lot of requests on his part. Like he was leading this little play both sides revolution plan. So he was operating somewhat independently. But as far as...
Well, that's perfect for us, honestly.
And that's sort of also how the company tends to operate, right? Like each captain, it's like a loose alliance of merchants who have basically non-compete agreements, right? But otherwise, they sort of mostly do their own thing with a couple higher ups who set some general.
Oh,
overall.
Green Barrel's here.
Oh.
Hi, Green Barrel.
Miffy is the best.
Oh, thank you.
So they
I just wanted to make sure we said hi.
Yes, hello, and welcome. Yeah, so
this company, it seems to be a very primitive form of the Ferengi.
Ferengi?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I know enough to know that's Star Trek. Unfortunately, I have not watched enough Star Trek, so.
Yeah, me neither.
They have the rules of acquisition.
You know.
What?
Okay.
Anyway.
How many questions do I get?
You unfortunately just got the one, but it told you a bit about him acting on his own and a bit about where their regional hub is, which.
All right.
You know.
Fair enough.
Is there anything else you're trying to do while here? I assume you're not looking for more information because you searched for that, but.
So, where's all his stuff going? Is it like an auction or something? Do we get Is it first come, first serve?
Tips yet?
Yeah.
Well, we have finished our preliminary investigation. For now, all of his possessions are under the ownership of the Marquise until we finish the full investigation. After which... Yeah, Miffy sighs, like, oh man. It's just like, after which points, it depends on what it is. If there's merchandise, then the Marquise may sell it to trusted merchants to make its way out into the town. If there's anything that is of use to the Marquise, it will be kept.
Okay, so what do you guys think of, if I just raided his fridge?
What is a fridge?
What is the Marquise? How does the Marquise feel about that?
They sort of,
Gonna spoil.
Do you mean he's allowed there?
I suppose that would be all right. I don't think there would
All
be
right,
any
I'm
evidence. So you just eat all of his food?
Well, I'm gonna bring it on the road.
Oh, okay. You want to turn some of it into. You have
provisions.
Do you have depletion marked?
Let me see.
Or what's
depletion?
What?
No. Oh, I don't have any depletion.
Yeah, so that means you're already at full supplies.
Oh, I thought it was so confusing. All right, I'm eating his food.
No, you just eat it.
Nom nom.
I don't know. Oh, I know. Can I try to grab one of his seals? Like if he sends letters, like a stamp or something?
Oh. You certainly could. I don't know if the guard would approve, so I assume that means that you're being sneaky about it.
Yeah.
Which I believe...
Enter roguish feat.
Right, which you'll be rolling with luck, though. Because I don't believe you have... I don't believe you're going to have the roguish feat.
Pickpocket.
Yeah, wait, so hold on. It actually might not even be Tempter Roguish feat. It might be the other one, the...
Trust feat?
It might be. Let me read. Is that how that works? Yes. If you don't have it while you're taking the appropriate action, then you're trusting fate instead. So you would roll trust.
So do I roll fate then?
Yeah,
instead?
you roll trusting fate.
Where is
So,
that? Oh,
Trust
right
fate.
there.
Yeah, it's just below persuade.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my god!
Strong hit.
Yeah. I got the
Alright.
max, didn't I?
Yeah, you
my
certainly
God.
did. You scrape
Damn.
or barrel through. The GM will tell you what
Damn.
it costs you. And fortune favors the bold. Your panache also earns you a fleeting opportunity.
What's that?
Oh, okay. Well,
Panache is like Moxie.
I thought Miffy was asking what the opportunity would be.
Well, no, I know. Like, what is fleeting opportunity? Sounds like a bolded word, you know?
Yes. So what it is you get your stamp right. Like when
Yeah.
while the guards turn, you raid the fridge, which they probably don't have a proper. Like you raid the ice box, right? Like
Yeah.
and eat whatever's out on the counter. And while the guard's just like, all right, I guess I'm letting this happen for some reason, and looks away for a moment. You go over to the desk, quickly swipe the stamp, and while you do, you notice like, oh, that guard's looking pretty far away for the moment. I think I could probably just ruffle through some of these other drawers and things, and so it's like you very quickly go through some of the desk drawers. It's like, nothing immediately of value. And I will give you a choice of one of two things you can find, either in one of the desk drawers or perhaps like in a display cabinet elsewhere in the room. You can either find a weapon, which we'll make and give it to you, something that the company would theoretically have, or you can find a hidden like coin case that the Marquise missed when they were doing their initial sweep, and tuck that into your pocket.
Ooh.
Oh, so that's in addition to what I already got.
Yeah,
from
in
the
addition to the
stamps.
stamp. So
Okay.
that your fleeting opportunity is that thing you were looking for
Extra
earlier.
thing.
You can get an extra thing, but also
Nice. Okay.
because it is trusting fate, it still does cost you. So I'm going to have you mark exhaustion just from like doing all of this extra stuff, even as you're stuffing your face. In fact, stuffing your face may have gave you the opportunity, but does make it harder to go through things quickly.
I just ate like so disgustingly they had to look away.
Yeah, which does mean that you're a little bit out of breath when you're done swiping things, but
Sorry, it's heartburn.
It's like how I imagine Slimer eats. Is how Miffy eats.
I think
this
money
instance.
can. I think the special item, the weapon sounds more valuable to me. Like we could always get more money or swipe some pockets. Who
Right.
knows?
Miffy, money can buy you many goods and services.
Well, that depends because 3 value was a sword, so that's like a lot,
Who knows?
and it's nice and company specific.
Yeah, so I will build a company issue weapon for you, Miffy. I don't have one
Nice.
offhand to just hand over because I don't want to give you a canary one. That wouldn't really make sense to be here.
Yeah, I'll just. You
Yeah.
know what? I'm gonna delete my canary one from now.
Yeah.
For now.
So I will build you a new company issue weapon. Hopefully we don't need it this session, but maybe you will. In which case maybe we drag the canary one back as a placeholder just for now. But we'll just marked that down for my to-dos.
Miffy takes the company weapon out of the case and then replaces it with the canary weapon.
Mm-hmm.
They might have the canary weapon.
I think the
but
Marquis
yeah.
has the canary weapon as evidence right now, so that's why that one's.
It was
completely
never
gone.
there.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what you're able to pick up.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I'll see you around. Unless I see you first, huh?
Wait, you said I'll see you around unless I see you first?
Oh god, terrifying.
Well, no, see you around unless that's how the expression goes, right?
Usually it involves 2 people.
I better not see you first if you know what's good for you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, and with that, Miffy leaves. Were you two up to anything else while Miffy was doing that little search, or were you just talking and thinking about what your approach is in character?
Can I do a roll to while Miffy is going about her business, I'm going around to. Can I just go around town and using that read a tense situation? Because a murder has happened in town.
A murder's happened in town. And it feels like, and from the amount of patrols, it feels like a curfew is imminent, right? Like you can already hear the reports that the recent fires were due to eerie agents that have been moving through town. So yeah, I think this situation qualifies as a tense situation to roll for.
I'm gonna try and read the scuttlebutt about this. Oh damn!
All right, strong hit. Ask
Okay.
3. So you got your 5 sample questions there, or if you have something else, you know.
Who are people looking toward in the situation? Either to address something or to quote unquote fix something. Like, who are people most looking forward to hear from regarding all this?
I think the impression that Milo would get, right? Wait, sorry, you were about to clarify. So if you want to clarify, feel free.
Like they see there's a problem, things are getting tighter. Who do they think will help them get out of this situation and lead them to a more quote unquote normal life in the den?
I think what Milo sees, and this is probably something that, like, once he sees this, it like makes a lot of sense to him given what he's learned about the town since, being here. Is that a lot of people, when they learn this stuff, they tend to go to like small community hubs, usually led by like a specific person. So like either like a merchant in this area, the innkeep in that area, an older person who always sits on their porch in this one, right? Like it seems like there's a lot of regional leaders, a lot of clusters. And Milo, you see the like, I don't want to say, maybe you see the paw prints of like hearing of like all these different criminal groups that you've heard of. It's like not all of these clusters are criminal groups, right? But every once in a while you're going by a place, seeing people like leaning and discussing something in hushed voices, and you're like, that right there, like that could easily be one of these other active thief groups, and each of them has their own few blocks that they protect the people within if something goes wrong, right? Like they each have their own little territorial spats. So it gives the sense of a very divided town, right? Where there is a few people look to the Marquis. I don't want to say no one does, right? Like there are some people, especially those who work up in the nursery, right? Will look to the Marquis to keep things stable. A very small minority who looks to Mayor Blith Nightsong. Mostly
former Mayor Blithwing.
Yeah. Mostly like some of the elder birds.
Stooges.
But yeah. So there's not a lot of them who listen to Mayor Blith Nightsong, but some still do. But yeah, it's a very divided sort of town in that sense.
So that's your answer for that? Okay.
Yeah.
With all this going on, it's kind of a follow-up, and we'd use a hold to do it. Of those people, like the acrobat and the new merchant person who we were talking about with Ember's parents, which one do we hear the most of in all this scuttlebutt?
Ooh, that's a good question. Which one do you hear the most of? I think...
Are they coming out from wherever and like having their voices be heard during it? Or have they mostly been keeping their heads down even during all this?
I think you probably hear the most... Like, you'd hear of either of them, right? But I think of the two, the one you hear the most of is the tradesperson, Bachman. People are talking about how he's been helping replace, some of the stuff lost in the fires. Most of which is Marquise stuff, but, sometimes someone owns the building that was next to the, carts that burned, and they need, like, a new window or some new furniture, etc. And so he's been running discounts for those affected by the flames. And so there's a general positive sentiment there. granted, they're discount, but they're also rush orders, right? So it's like they're not quite the artisanal pieces, but hey, if you decided your house burned down, you probably want it replaced sooner than later anyway, right? So
Yes.
But yeah, so he's the one who's definitely spoken about the most of like the one people who were, or rather of those two, right?
Bachman, is that Bochmn? M-A-N?
It's Bachmann.
Bachman. Gotcha. And let's see. Last question. Would it be part of Ria's tense situation? Trades rabbit. Ooh. Would we know where they are?
Bachman. Oh yeah, Bachman owns a reputable place of public business. So that one you don't need to burn a question on. Like that's just you can just ask and find that easily enough. So it's like Bachman is in fact like gone legit, right? And like Ember's parents pointed out, unlike the acrobat, Bachman has set up a sustainable gone legit method, right? So granted,
Yes.
you know.
You know what? That's what you want to look for in a potential leader.
Yeah, but okay, it's also just did come with a side of betraying a bunch of people. So,
Well, it happens. Milo can relate.
Goodbye,
So last
former
question.
Lord of Ironroot.
We've come to terms. Last question is going to be: has anything else shady happened now that Kurzak and ostensibly the Ashen Claw have been put to rest? Like, has there been any more arson or any violence or underhandedness happening after this whole thing has come to light? Well, the stuff we want to come to light has come to light.
Yeah, I think that there's no new violence, but there is a lot of paranoia, I suppose. The current story going around, which was the story told at least in part by you guys, the story going around is that there was a merchant here who was supplying eerie agents in the town who were causing the fires, and while the merchant's been cut off, those agents are still out there. And so people are looking over their soldiers, wondering where the people who are setting
Over
these
their
fires.
soldiers?
Over their shoulders, not over their soldiers.
I mean, both.
But you're right. If they're on the second floor, they're looking over the soldiers as they patrol below.
I mean, I think foxes are around the same size as cats, so
In this
Sure, like
world, for whatever reason, everything from a mouse to a wolf is about the same size, and then bears are giant. So it's just like,
Okay.
yeah, I don't. It's just how Root works. So, yeah.
Okay, so that answered what I was saying. So like, people are like talking about, oh, did you hear this guy? He was funding eerie soldiers to heck us up.
Yeah.
So like, tensions are high. People are paranoid about something else happening. Like, if not happening, then there's always like the threat to them that something will happen.
Right. And to address
they-
that threat, it loops back to your first question, is that they're turning inwards towards their like most local regional leader, whoever that may be, right?
Mm-hmm. And right now, it seems the one who's stepping up the most, or at the very least, is the most seen doing it, is Bachman.
Yeah, of the set, yes. Although I think the Marquis is certainly seen stepping up to deal with the eerie, quote unquote, unquote, right? But like, but that's a little bit of a different sort of stepping up, if that makes sense, right? So certainly people understand that the Marquis is trying to do more, and that by trying to do more, they're telling them that they need to close their businesses earlier and stay inside longer, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But they're certainly doing stuff. All right. But that goes through your questions. while we ruminate on those questions, Ember, were you up to anything in particular?
Gonna talk to Otis about the people who were brought up. If
Oh,
there
about
is
them.
a safe space to do so.
Yeah,
Just like,
I think it's
I know
like,
you want to keep working on this. And if you're going to, here are some smart ways to do it.
Yeah, you meet up with Otis and, you switch hideouts. Luckily, there is a surplus of mostly abandoned buildings that can be used. It does tend to happen when things start falling apart in a certain area. It's just that it slowly spreads, right? And the Marquise isn't really focused on the underground. They're focused on the surface. And with all the lumber. So, anyway. But, yeah, so when you run these figures by Otis, does Ember impart any opinions herself, or is she purely trying to get his impressions?
Mostly his impressions, except about Azure. I'm going to be serious that he should go talk to Azure.
All right, sounds good. I think Ember, when you really emphasize that one, at first he's very skeptical, not quite to the level of laughing about it like your parents were. It's like this, where it's like this would be funny, right? He's like, really, the old guy at the edge of town is like the one who everyone like whispers about is some kind of strange wizard, etc. Like, like that kind of stuff. It's like,
I mean, he was right.
You're right, he was right. He was right. And he's still here for some reason.
He is, and he hasn't like changed his opinion on anything.
Yeah.
So like if he gets behind you, that's not gonna change.
I guess it is true. I mean, what could it hurt, right? I guess he could say that we're gonna fail. And there's like a grimace. But it's like,
Not the grimace.
He says, don't drink the grimace shake. But no.
See, no.
No.
But aside from that one, when you try to get his opinions on the others, he seems to be reluctant to try to recruit anyone who's currently in power, meaning Major Darren or Blith Lightsong. It might be due just to the fact that he is a rebellious youth, right? And he's like, these people are currently in power. If they were going to do anything about it, then they would have done it already, right? Like, doesn't trust them in that way. But of the other two former criminals, like when you explain, it's like, maybe we could go to some of them. They succeeded. They'd have some sway. Maybe they could get the active ones to listen to you if you got them to listen to you. That he seems to buy. He's more... he seems to believe more that would succeed, right? And so that's where he would lean towards.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I realize we're 2 hours in and we haven't taken a break. Would everyone like a quick break and come back, or do we want to just push through it at this point?
I can push through it. How's everyone else feeling?
We do have a contractually a union granted break, so we can.
I would like to take a quick break.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I think
no
we can take that break. All right.
All right.
We're gonna head to a break. We'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes. See you all soon. Rest up, hydrate, etc. All right, we're back. We're back from our break. And now, team, we've got a bunch of information. And it sounds like we do want to inspire people to revolution, though certainly correct me if I'm misunderstanding on that. To which I would ask you, where are we beginning?
I think we should start with Bachman.
All right, we have one vote for Bachman. Any other votes?
I'm indifferent.
Ooh, indifferent. Ember, opinion?
Trying to look at my sheet again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds good.
I mean, we're a little bit tighter with the Marquis, but we do want them to lessen their hold on Dijon's dead. Do you think it's possible to, like, convince them to recede a little bit?
With Erie, you just convinced them that there's Erie agents in town.
Sure, yeah, they'd probably dig in. Well, I don't want to lose my precious 2 check marks for the Marquis.
Oh, you don't lose them, you just get negative check marks also.
True.
That way, you can lose the whole plus when you get that instead.
Oof.
Okay, I see now.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. I am for either the acrobat or the merchant. I'm good. I think those are a good place to start.
Okay,
Well, that sounds
good.
like the merchant to me.
All right, then yeah, let's start with the merchant. All right. So we find Bachman exactly where you expect him to be, which is in his workshop. He is a brush rabbit, mostly gray with a bit of brown around the ears and paws, and he's currently at work. Not doing any, like, finishing anything, but, like, just prepping some of the material alongside some of his apprentices, getting some of the raw lumber ready to replace perhaps anything that was recently damaged, within the past couple weeks, not recently as in with the past day. He's tapping along to the rhythm of the saw as he, prepares the lumber, and notices you entering the workshop. Pull himself away from his work, calling for one of the apprentices to take over what he was doing. Hello there. How can I be of assistance to you?
We're looking for a fella by the name of Bachman. You wouldn't happen to know him?
That's me. You need something? We do have a bit of a queue at the moment for orders, but...
Can I look and see the queue? Or is it like an order queue?
I think in queue they don't mean like there's people lined up or anything. It just means that
Actually,
they're
out the
processing
door.
other orders.
We didn't just cut the entire line.
No. They meant like they're working on other orders at the moment. So depending on what you need, I haven't seen.
I put a claw out. Name's Milo, songbug by trade, and we just want to discuss some things. No orders, just talk about community.
Oh no, a solicitor.
Have you heard the good news?
Oh no. He looks at you quizzically. Community. Now, I don't mean any offense, but I think this is the first time I'm seeing, and like you'd look over. Oh yeah, I guess this is a follow-up question. Are you bringing Otis with you to all of these, or only to Azure because you think that's funny?
I mean, he's still recovering, right?
He is still recovering, so him getting around, and he would also be visibly injured in these conversations. So
Yeah, no.
I mean, that could get us sympathy points.
Parade
This
Otis
young
around.
lad was viciously attacked by a company man, simply for trying to keep his community safe.
I mean, it's up to you guys. I heard a no from Ember and a yes from Milo, so
How we
come to
feel
a
about
consensus. Come to a consensus.
Hey, Miffy.
Hey, Miffy, vote.
Oh, what do you want?
Are
happened?
we dragging Otis around or not?
Oh, I don't know.
The reason.
mean-
Here you go.
We'll leave him be.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, all right.
I thought we were all gonna skip town, honestly.
Not this time, Miffy. We haven't escaped prison yet. I don't say that in front of him.
right. This is in the when we're deciding if we're bringing Otis part of the
All right.
conversation.
That was a flashback.
Right.
Tarantino-esque.
We go back forward. He says, "No offense, but I don't think I've seen And like his gaze lingers on Ember, like maybe he recognizes you, but Ember, you've probably only been in here once or twice, I assume, unless you feel like you would have frequented a woodworker. So it's like at that, he gives you that look. It's like, I don't know, maybe I've seen Ember. It was like I'm not really familiar with any of you.
Well, that's exactly it, right? The community isn't working together. Milo, you take it away.
Well, you see, since this whole business with the fire, I'm sure you've been feeling the shockwaves of it throughout the community. It just makes me just harshes the buzz, seeing people get so worked up and bent out of shape about not trusting their fellow neighbor, not knowing where to turn to. But you've been helping your community out so much. You've been supporting them, trying to make sure you can provide for them, and I find that inspiring.
He eyes you with a bit of wariness, but says, well, you've done your research on me at least. Yeah, I'm well aware of the fires, and like you said, I've been trying to patch up what they've torched. At least the standing structures. There's certainly plenty of spare carts for the Marquis to use going around, but the building's not as easy to replace, but we do what we can.
Yeah. I mean, we feel like tensions have just been so high just because... I kind of lean in and I go, just because the Marquis happened to be here. Folks can't just go about their business and live their lives when they got armed forces. Armed forces just palling around telling folks what to do. Just had someone who could, maybe not drive them out, but put them in their place. Let them know this city is founded by its citizens, it is for its citizens. And we technically got a mayor, but what kind of public servant is he?
I didn't vote for him.
At that, he's listening very keenly, and then just gestures his head towards a door. Why don't we continue this discussion in my office? Let the apprentices keep working in peace. He'll lead you over to his office that's a little bit more private. Can I interest you in something to drink?
I'm fine just as is. Do Miffy and Ember want to come in?
Yeah, I assumed you were all
if you
together.
want me there. Yeah, why not? I'll take something. What do you got?
All sorts from across the woodlands. We've got some liquor from Fire Sky, gives quite a burn. Or something softer from Grand Hollow, if you prefer something a little bit sweeter, rounder.
Give me the most expensive one.
I pull a bottle out for me. It's like, Miffy, we already have the expensive ones.
All right, give me that. Snatch
Snatch it from Milo.
Yeah, I'll mark a wear on it.
Oh no.
He watches this with some amusement. Looks to Ember. I don't know if Ember wants anything or not.
I would love something sweet and full.
All right. He'll pour out the liquor from Grand Hollow, and once he does, and slides it across the table. Look, I understand what you're saying. Marquis isn't making things easier, but there's fires lighting up. Talk of eerie insurgents. I don't know how true any of that is, but someone started those flames. Unless it was the Marquis themselves making their own problems, I don't know what you expect me to do about it.
Well, in a way, they are the ones causing the problem. The Eerie, if they are causing these fires or not, are only doing it because the Marquis are stationed here, right?
Yeah. I mean, they've been here. They've been holding your lumber down and providing safety, but just how safe do you
How they
feel?
made you feel?
Also, I gesture to Ember. Ember, you grew up here. Can you remember a time without the Marquis here?
Can she?
I was gonna say, I think Ember, you would have probably been very young during that time, or like born like just after it. So no, like the Marquis always been here as far as you remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now this young one can't even remember a time when there was no Marquis, and I'm a newcomer myself, but it seems like them just waltzing in here for so long, it doesn't seem right to me.
It didn't always used to be this bad. He says with like like a little bit of reminiscence as he like swirls the drink in his glass. The Marquis is the sort of it's the sort of group that'll be here for you, supporting you when times are good, and then ready to push you down and stand on top of you to save themselves when times are bad. Times didn't used to be so bad. Ever since the Erie started regaining steam, taking Ironroot for one, things certainly got worse. And well, friends who treat you like this when things go wrong, they're no real friends. I certainly know that. But
When friends are down, you gotta lift them back up. Whether it be a family member or just a neighbor, you gotta make sure you're supporting them. And I know it may be busy work, but I see you've been supporting people as much as you can.
I mean, I do what I can because I'm able
You're
to.
no stranger to hard work.
I'm no stranger to all sorts of work. Not everyone's in a position like mine. I can afford to lose some money here and there. Numbers will work for me. Not everyone can. People certainly can't afford to be back under the Erie's thumb. For as terrible as the Marquise being right now, the Erie has been similarly bad, and without all the benefits of having that redwood farm to profit off of. I'm not saying the Marquis is good. It might be better than the Erie, and really, what other alternative is there? This corner of the woodlands.
Well, I'm not saying that anything will necessarily be a big change, especially anytime soon, what with all this Erie business going around. But what if we could connect you with some people who also are not happy with the situation? No one can really do anything by themselves, especially with everyone doing all sorts of different things and the Marquis making sure that it stays that way. But if the right people got together, then maybe some better ideas could also.
You're not wrong. And certainly there's a part of me that wants to take you up on that offer. Otherwise, I wouldn't have invited you in this office when you started complaining about the Marquis. I would have kicked you out the front door. But
Yeah.
just pull a bunch of people together haphazardly. You're from here. Sure, you're aware of the alliances and backstabbing that happens all the time.
Which is why this needs to be more methodical. This is why we're trying to figure some things out before actually doing things.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate that. Who do you have in mind?
We both point to Miffy.
Wait, what?
No.
No.
We kind of just like,
That was a joke to lame things up.
we both kind of like, just kind of look to him.
Well, you said put me in contact with others, right?
Yeah.
The acrobat, right?
Well, there's a small list that we are working through to gauge interest, and there's also a small group that has been trying to get some cooperation from the pieces already in play without
Are you
much
talking
luck.
about Otis?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, good.
Just drink some more.
Okay.
But it's been difficult considering they're, not in play themselves.
Yeah, they're all too busy trying to be the big man on campus. They don't want to collaborate with one another. No, as outside observers, we just think it would be better if you could just put your egos aside and trust in one another to run this thing together.
That's asking a little much, but at least working together.
Yeah. Well, listen. Do you know? Maybe I shouldn't go that route, but
It's like starts, you know what, never mind. Not gonna say that.
maybe we should. Have you ever heard of the story of Mad Max and the Wasteland? No.
Okay. To what? You guys have just said a bit.
No,
so-
not one person can run the den together. The Marquis may be. Yeah, the Marquis. Sorry, a lot of
no.
words being flown around. If you get that battle away from me. No, the Marquis may think they can run it with their military, but you got craftsmen, tradesmen, people who know the streets and know each other. Now you don't gotta love each other, but least you can do is make sure you're all safe. At the very least. So, if we can get you in contact with some of these other folks, maybe discuss something, I think you'll all be in a better place because of it.
Takes a moment and thinks on what was just said. Alright, well. Look, you haven't shared with me who's on your list. And fair enough. I asked, you didn't. Maybe you have good reason not to. I can appreciate the manner in which you're going around and talking to people, gauging their interest, the care you're taking with those you're considering. So out of that appreciation, I'll tell you, this town, any town this big, someone's going to be up top at the end of the day. Maybe it's the Marquis, maybe it's the Erie. Maybe we get ourselves our own independent governor for a while until Marquis or Erie comes and burns us down like they did Ashenborough. But at the end of the day, someone's up top. I think it matters a lot who that person is, who that group is. For me, I can do what I can right now because I can exist in this system with these people, as awful as they are in some ways. I can do some good because I can work with them. I don't know these others you're thinking about talking to. But unless I can be sure that I can continue to do what I'm doing, and he hesitates and says no, unless I can be sure that I can do more than what I'm doing already, I don't know if I'll be able to help you. But I share your concerns, and I think you're going about this the right way. I can at least come to a meeting if you set one up. If a bunch of people concerned about, a bunch of civilians concerned about the recent talk of Erie spies were to come together and think about what to do about the threats facing the town, I certainly would be a part of that conversation. He says with the air of plausible deniability. So, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's all we're trying to get together.
Yeah. Well, we'll come get you if we can get that group together. If you're open for it.
I'm open for hearing you and the others out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
No, we're the ones who are supposed to leave the room, Miffy.
I'm out the door.
Bye.
Oh, I thought you meant like we're sending them out. Okay, sorry, misunderstanding. All right, so I think we leave.
Yeah, so you head on out. Sounds like he's at least tentatively interested. Some things you said spoke to him. Some things you said didn't quite, but seems to have got him at least willing to come to the table.
We leave and we kind of get away from the people. I kind of like motion for us to group huddle. Now, this may seem like I'm just floating this idea, and we don't. I'm not sure if you all are thinking it, but what if we get Otis and the Nash and Claw to come clean that they were the ones starting the fires?
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Just,
That's a bad idea. We also were there.
I know, but I
We just admitted.
I know.
No.
I understand, but if we're gonna oust these people anyway, we're not gonna get in trouble from them.
No, they're just gonna pile on us.
We don't come clean to the Marquis. We come clean to the citizens.
No, they're gonna hate him. That's a bad idea.
But that'll show just how much the citizens at least, don't like the Marquis here. And I know it was because of the company that he was able to start these fires, but, he just wanted change so badly.
That was stupid of him.
I know, he's an idiot. He's an idiot, I hope he dies, but not because of us.
Oh
You hope he dies? What?
I'm gonna side with Miffy here.
I'm just saying, it's you know what a thought experiment is?
What?
A thought experiment. That's when you think of an idea and see the
let's
consequences
bench this
with no preconceptions or any
Judgment? No judgment. I think Milo's looking
There are
for.
no bad ideas in a brainstorm, okay?
All right, how about this brainstorm? We set fire to the Marquise' whole area and use it as background pyrotechnics for your next show.
I mean, I know
Ember's
you're
funny. That was funny, Ember.
I know you're joking. I know you're trying to make fun of me, but that would be really cool. I'm just saying, it's not the fact that they set the fire. It's the fact that they were trying to make a change for the denizens.
I think that your point can be made just by having Otis bring all of the people he recruited.
Yeah, he's already got a big group. The fact that he's a big group, they keep their mouths shut. and we've got a big group who's all for the same cause.
Well, you know what? Modus could. Modus operandi can get a group together. We should probably bring
I thought you were saying
it.
Modus because you were trying to combine Miffy and Otis.
No, if any ship name, it's Onatis. If there's any ship name.
There's no ship.
Okay, I know. We're completely. I understand.
Wait,
we're
no,
landlocked.
their ship name should be Oh Dear.
Oh dear.
That's so cute.
Oh my god. What's happening? I think we're off track here.
Yeah, we're off track. Voice in the sky. Sorry.
Okay, you know what? Fine. Let's go to the next person on the list.
All right.
Wow, that was weird.
Thought experiments will do that to you. Also, give me back that bottle.
All right, are we going?
Oh, here you go.
It has double skulls on it.
Are we going to the acrobat next, or to the mystic?
Acrobat.
I'm not hearing any other opinions.
Yeah,
Any
no,
other
that
opinions?
sounds good to me.
All right, acrobat we go. You make your way then to another person who is in the place you expect to find them. I'll post her name in the chat as well. So you find Saren's estate, which is it's probably one of the biggest estates in town. And look at Ember, you've probably been by it a couple of times through your life, right? You probably don't come to this side of town that often, except for maybe if you were getting up to no good, right? Getting into people's houses. But even then, Saren's is a little bit much and difficult to get into, even if you were going for that sort of reason. There's just so much going on. She has all these huge fences, because getting her start in thievery, she knows that taking a fall from a fence is a good way to end your thieving career, right? So there's all these huge walls and fences, and like these twists, like these odd shapes on her building too. But a recent bit of construction is this big stage and like outdoor seating area, and the gate, as of the recent few years, probably even before you left, has been open with like a small, someone that she has hired at the ticket booth, or herself if she's bored that day, to like sell tickets to various shows. And like right now there's this there's a show tomorrow night for, come watch the famous, it's like painted up on it, Saren Banco do amazing feats of acrobatics, like watch all those advertisements.
Cartwheel.
She's got all these little beams and ropes and things like up above the stage. So she's got some stuff that she can do. It's a little bit, impressive, at least in theory. I don't know if up to Ember if she's ever been here or not. But you're able to see one of her assistants outside. I assume you asked to see Saren herself. I don't know if you told the assistant why you're here, but she's like, hey, we have something to talk about with her. That's the approach, or? Yeah.
She goes, hi, how can I help you? Free tickets?
I think it's probably rare
enough. Now you don't want
enough.
to see the show?
Ghostbusters, what do you want?
It's probably rare enough that she gets someone asking for her specifically, like outside of the shows. That it's like when it does happen, it tends to be something important, so that when you do, the assistant goes in and grabs her, and she comes out and walks with you all through the yard, like the fenced-in yard, right? So you do have some measure of privacy, and you have like shrubs, some of which have like different shapes and things, some of which look like they haven't been maintained in a little bit, but like to absorb from the sound.
Sorry. I think I killed Mordio.
Hold on. Hold on.
Sorry. I just had to say.
Are you?
Where's my incorrect buzzer?
All right, let's just move on from that one. Let's move on.
All right.
So, it's not every day that I get some strangers coming and asking after me. It certainly happens before that some old acquaintances want to reconnect or swap some stories, but I'm intrigued. How can Saren Banco help the three of you today?
I'm sorry, I'm just still thinking about that bush thing.
Stop thinking about my bush.
Sensing your hesitation, are you an eclectic-looking group? If you're looking for employment, I'm afraid I'm sort of a one-person show.
No. We're very admirative. That's not a word, is it? It is now. Your act.
Admirative, yes.
And what you've done to get yourself to this place. All that's coming to mind is admirative.
Well, we see how you've people hold you in pretty high regard, and well, we're trying to bring the community together in regards to certain social issues in the den.
Oh yes, I forgot to describe her. But when you say people hold her in high regard, so she's a very bright white fox, with like very quite fluffy looking fur. And when you say that like people hold you in high regard, she like does like a little, like a little wiggle with her head and like sinks into like the fluff a little bit. It's like, ooh,
Oh my god!
like almost like it's a big poofy scarf, but it's not. It's actually just part of her, right? Like,
I wish.
oh,
I picture this, basically.
you flatter me, so we're off to a wonderful start already.
Oh, you're weak to flattery. Well, let me pull out the big guns.
Oh yeah, he can accompany.
You see, we're trying to have a meeting set up between certain local figures in order to, like I said, address certain issues regarding factors in your community. How do you feel about the Marquis?
Marquise.
Or the Marquisian? I think what I said was a Star Trek thing. Forget that first one.
Oh, they are the Marquis de Cat. The Marquis de Cat.
I said the Marquis. It's no R.
Oh,
but yeah.
okay, yeah. The Marquis. They used to be such good patrons, but ever since the Eries got their fur all frazzled, they've even shut down some of my shows for occurring too late at night. But during the day, the lights just don't work as well. It's honestly quite a bother. Not to mention all of the stuff that they do on the streets, all very bad, of course. But the shows, like interrupting art, is the real tragedy. I think you can all
when
agree.
it affects me, yeah.
Not me personally, just art in general.
Yeah, I know.
It might be her personally, but
Okay, yeah, I understand. Cool. Yeah, as a musician myself, I don't like it when I'm shooed to the side. When all I'm trying to do is express myself, or to be honest, just make a buck. So, yeah, they're stepping way outside their bounds, and I think the people of the den need to address them head on. That's what this meeting's about. Well, not like a battle way, more like in a communal, social change way.
You just mean work together instead of sitting by themselves.
Yeah, when you say head on at first, there's like the ears, like they go up like an alert, and then like when you're like no, like unified together, it's like oh, and then she relaxes a bit.
Oh, is she a Miffy?
Wait, what? What does that mean?
She's got the myth madness?
The myth madness.
Or am I just basically
You might be misreading it, but who knows?
Okay.
You might be misreading
Maybe
it.
you're reading it correctly. Maybe you're reading it correctly. It's like I mean, certainly having everyone together would make any such appeal easier, but you should see how hard it is to get everyone to just fill these seats. Like,
Yeah. People tend to wander when left to their own devices and options, which they have a right to, but that's why we're trying to go to the people that they look towards for their movements. And you are one of them.
I mean, I won't deny that every so often someone does come here seeking some advice from someone as successful as I have been.
Is moi.
She says, and like as you're walking through the gardens, she like nudges a fallen over like piece of like, something that was like something that was an art piece like amongst the shrubs. The shrubs have gotten too unruly and pushed it over. She just like pushes it under the shrub so it's out of sight. Like someone who's done as well for herself as I am. So I can't say I'm surprised that you've come to me for. Well, actually, you're not coming to me for advice. You're coming to me for my influence. Was that right? You want me to rally everyone to a common cause?
Well, yes. And also, we think that getting people like you together would also increase that influence to make things work a little bit smoother,
Help with
So no one could be just like you.
Oh, no.
Good work, Riffy.
Well, I mean, certainly you couldn't expect me to do anything about the Marquis all by myself. I can do all sorts of...
Unless...
Well, like I can do all sorts of amazing feats. Come to one of my shows and you'll see. But yes, exactly. It's a lot to ask of anyone. But like you say, people could afford to work a little bit more together here. And well, if I happen to be instrumental in any sort of coming together, I'm sure that would... Like her gaze wanders for a moment, and you just now notice that one of the windows needs replacing. Like it's been like one of the big windows on the higher floor. It's like slightly off-centered and has been like latched back on multiple times. Like I could certainly use some more influence and some more praise.
There was a gazebo we walked past with a skeleton in it covered in cobwebs. It's like a human skeleton, so it's doubly weird.
It's like things.
Get that replaced.
As your mother implied, things are certainly not as You get the sense her help, most of her hired help, isn't hired nor helping anymore, right? Like,
yeah.
But I suppose if I were to bring everyone together, I could start having some more of the starlit shows like I used to have. Perhaps it would also reinvigorate some interest in some performances.
Of course.
She thinks about this for a moment. Okay. I mean, look, this is a very interesting proposition you've brought me. I'm certainly going... I can certainly say that. Do you have anything else you want to add to try to sway her one way or the other? She seems at least intrigued already.
I mean, if we get the Marquise out of this, you can do your late night shows then. That should increase ticket sales, not chicken sales.
Chicken sales?
Or at least...
I say.
No, I say.
Scale things back enough so that people can live life more normally. And that means they can also go to shows later.
If we put money into the economy, they'll spend more of it.
Exactly. And once we manage to figure out who all could attend these meetings, I think that your shows might be a good place to, bring them together.
That's a great idea.
Oh, I think it is wonderful. Just think, a bunch of the forward-looking folk all attending one of my shows, and then once it's over, the after-party discussions could become something more intellectual, something more...
They exit through the gift shop.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I might need to rehire that gift shop attendee, if only for a night.
Cut to another skeleton.
Now, we are still gauging interest, but you are a big interest.
Oh.
Well, consider my interest gauged. I'm in. Okay, good.
We will let you know as soon as we have more information.
We'll send a messenger out for you.
All right. For that one, I want to re-emphasize, like, as part of just like her, as from like a GM, it's like her I'm in. You definitely get a more thorough buy-in from her than you did from Bachman. You touched on almost all of the things that she liked and none of the things she didn't like. So she is very much sold on what you guys are doing. So she's more convinced than Bachman. Like she seems like, okay, I will be an influential person. So that's just her way of expressing it. I want to be clear on, where you guys stand.
That makes sense.
So
he's a little more focused.
Maybe a little, yeah. He's got different sorts of wants and needs out of this. So. All right.
So Mystic.
Yeah, we can probably these look like they're taking about 50 minutes. We can probably fit in the Mystic here tonight as well. All right. So for the Mystic, you continue on through and out of town. Not out completely, out to the edge of town where things start to grow a little bit more sparse. And it is not hard to find this place, though certainly, Ember, you would know where this was regardless, because even if you've never gone there, you've certainly gone there. Everybody knows. You know where this guy's at. So what I think is most noteworthy about it is the fact that it still looks like a fort out in the forest, right? Like there's walls up all around it that look like they're lumber that's been like chopped down and used to like reinforce a little campsite in case of any wilderness creatures come. And unlike the previous house that you were just
creatures such as
bears, moose,
and bears and moose and
problems.
A human.
A human. God.
Yeah. So like it's been enforced, but unlike the previous house, which was sort of falling apart, this one looks maintained, right? Like these walls were built a while ago and then replaced as they degraded over time because that was important to this person. The house itself,
infrastructure.
Yep. The house itself is built into a tree, not like it is a redwood, so it is very tall, but it's not like a still living one. So it's like sort of half rotted away, and it's much shorter. So he's got like this tree house crisscrossed through it with other plants in pots around on the branches to give the illusion of a live tree, and then like gardens of mushrooms that trail up it in other places. So it's got this very like designed nature feel once you're once you're past the gate. But first you have to actually get past the gate, which is crisscrossed with all of these metal bars, though there is a single bell there for guests.
We ring the bell.
You ring the bell, and just suddenly sticking his head out of one of the windows, it like barely fits. There's this big puff of a bird sticking his head out one of the window. Who's that?
Right.
Big wide eyes looking down.
What kind of bird are they?
They're a starling, right?
This is a starling.
Okay.
Yep.
Hold on.
They're not a library starling.
It's not a library
It's gonna
starling.
get worse.
This conventional starling.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, this.
Hello?
Yeah. Sorry. I thought Milo was saying something, but
No, I'm just looking up the starling.
oh yes. So this starling, unlike the library starling, has very deep, dark feathers, but with a vibrant iridescence across them, and a bright yellow beak. And as he moves and like puffs up out through the window, like even in little motions, make the iridescence almost seem like it glides across him like shimmering clouds. Who's there? You.
Hello there. Yes, me.
Yes, who? Are you?
Okay, you're not an owl. That's good. Well, nothing against owls. Just making sure. Hello there. I'm Milo the Songbug. I'm joined by my compatriots Amber the Fox and Miffy the Mouse. We're here to talk to you about goings on in the communities. Could you spare a moment of your time?
Goings on in the community.
Yeah.
Twists his head a couple of times. Don't know if I like that. And pops back into the window. He just disappears.
You know a lot of things, don't you?
His head pops out of a different window.
Huh?
Yes, I suppose that is true. Who's asking? Who are you?
Well, we just said we're Ember here was born and raised here. She's been venturing out, and she's come back prodigal son style, and just kind of aghast at the way things have become.
I see. Pulls his head back in.
Can we come in?
Yeah, You hear a big sigh from the inside. Oh no, they asked. All right. Can't turn away anyone who just asks politely, can I? No.
May
Would
we
be rude.
please come in?
No, even nice, more polite. Well, that's worse. Now I have to serve snacks.
We have liqueur with us if
No.
you would like to share.
Oh
all
no.
right.
Okay. More for us.
No. You will have
Miffy,
drinks.
We might have.
You will have biscuits, and you will enter
Ooh.
3, 5,
Well,
1,
thank
4.
you kindly.
Wait, what?
3, 5, 1, 4.
3, 5, 1.
The combination on the gate. You got to pull the third bar, then the fifth bar, then the first bar, and then the fourth bar. In that order.
This one?
Miffy,
How
I think
Do it correctly.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay. No, hold on. I just pulled that one. How do we reset if we pull it in the wrong order?
Yeah.
If you pull it in the wrong order, there is suddenly a cacophony of bells that are hidden along the inside of the fence, like the inside of like the defensive fence. It's like, no, you did it wrong. You did it
okay.
wrong.
What?
I said.
He just like shoves them all back in.
Yeah, it's like there's like a huff, and then the door puffs open. This starling's like all floofed up, comes out here, pulls something, stops the bell, quickly does the bars, and then before the gate even swings open, like scuttles back into the house and closes the door behind him. Come in.
Okay, so it was 8.
3.
I already pulled it.
No,
I already did it. Come inside.
Let's go. All right.
let's go
Can't even remember 4 numbers. Here you are.
Listen, I don't have anything to write it down with.
Sit
we
down
don't
now.
have phone numbers. Oh, okay.
Come into the
We're
house.
sitting down.
Yep, you're coming into the house.
Okay.
Sitting down.
All right. I'm
Okay.
ready for those biscuits.
We
In-
sit down politely.
I better see I don't want to see any limp biscuits though. All right.
There's
Okay then.
There, inside the redwood has been hollowed out. There are plenty of houses or places in other towns which are kind of like this. Grand Hollow being one of them. It's honestly pretty well put together in terms of actual structurally. And it's got that same organic growth sort of vibes inside, with the occasional strings of mushrooms or potted plants shifting through. Very quick, you are brought to a table. He gestures, sit there, and you do. And like, all right, juice. Takes a container, slides out cups, pours it. Biscuits. Puts them across, and then he sits down across from the 3 of you. It's like seated so that you 3 are all sort of... It's a circular table, but you're sort of all to one side, and he's on the other side.
Yeah.
Folds his hand feathers, looks very closely out at you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you kindly, sir. We take bites of the biscuits.
The biscuits are very hard to bite into, but once you break them, they flake into chewy chunks with some dried berries within them.
Ooh.
That's what the
delectable.
juice is for.
Have you guys ever heard about dunking your Oreos in orange juice?
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think we might have done that when I was visiting. Yeah. Well,
Why?
we didn't do it. We heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did not do that.
Because apparently it's good. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't
You
try
would
it.
believe that?
I mean,
would you rather do that or a hot Amos?
what?
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 It's when you take a famous Amos chocolate chip cookie and you dunk it in hot water.
Oh my god, I heard something else.
Yeah, Amos.
No, you heard it right.
This is designed to be heard a certain way. I feel like
Uh-huh.
not by Milo, but by just in general.
We don't ask this to the bird.
Yeah, we don't have this to the bird. The bird watches you take a bite and then watches you drink the juice, which is a very vegetal tasting juice, but it's spiced with something. So there's some
Cinnamon?
there's some earthiness. No, you would Miffy would know this. This is actually redwood bark that it's spiced with.
Oh, okay.
I assume I don't think we do that in our world, but they do it here, and maybe it's different than our world. I don't know if it's toxic or not in our world, but we're going to pretend it's not toxic here at the very least. Yeah, spiced with redwood bark. And he watches you very carefully as you each take at least one bite and at least one sip, staring at anyone who hesitates until they give in.
Now, sir,
Ember
we come
is
to...
never gonna say no to food.
Yeah.
Good.
Now, sir, we come to talk to you about certain goings-ons in the communities.
So this sounds like politics, and I don't like that.
That's fair.
Well, you know, it actually is, but I feel like
Oh,
you've been here for such a long time, and you've had insight into the way things have gone. You were able to predict, or just see which way the wind was blowing with the Marquise. I just feel like you have a great insight you could share with the people around you to help them make better decisions and help them with their issues.
any bird who didn't have their beak up there. Polite company. Any bird who was paying attention.
They're Pussy Willow, of course.
Pussy Willow.
Any bird who was paying attention should have been able to see what I saw. But they didn't. And then they didn't listen.
Well-
Double insulting.
Well, not to speak ill of anyone here, but there aren't that many birds within the den. There may be a few, and there's one supposed head honcho hen, but they could use someone to help them see that.
Oh, yes. A blithe night song. The one who didn't listen to me, but eventually realized the way things were going when he was in the position to profit from it. Yes, I remember him.
Shame that he's there. Hate him to death.
Nope, I don't care about him
What?
anymore. I don't care about politics.
Me neither. Me neither. He's basically dead to me.
No. Oh. You want to know something?
Just want to know if he'd be willing to
No.
meet some of the... Let me try that again. There's going to be a meeting in the near future where certain community members, key community members, will be sitting at a table. Some would say a round table like the one we're sitting at right now.
He looks down at the table. Okay.
Okay, you got that in your mind? Okay.
I can picture it.
So
Picture it.
I can picture it.
Okay, now picture an apple sitting on the table.
Okay.
Now that apple represents Dion's den. Now,
It's Dion's den, not the mustard's den.
okay, now get rid of the apple, and now think of Dion's den. Now, to get it to be the best it can be, especially for the people of Dion's den, the people need to come together to support it. I mean, you seem to be
Okay.
engineering type, industrial type. Sure, you can
No.
know how important support can be.
He's not.
Physical support? I mean, you need to have a good frame for a house.
Yes,
Anyone knows that.
Yes, everyone knows about infrastructure, that it needs to be well maintained and well cared for. Like I saw your fence out there, it's very well maintained.
Yes.
Also, the acoustics of your bells, fantastic.
What we're
Yes.
saying is, you know how to revive a dead thing. And you know what's dead in this town?
Oh no.
The community. And it's
thank
because
God.
what, right? They don't
Okay.
listen to each other. They don't listen to you. But they've now seen the error of their ways, I think, because the Marquis isn't doing them any favors. You knew ahead of time with the Erie, and now
Yes.
I bet you know this time too. I think they'll listen now because you were right all along.
I did know. I don't know. I don't look at that part of the sky. It's very rude.
How come?
You know.
Say it to the audience first.
Yeah. Turn, barrel the camera and say it.
Because last time I looked at that part of the sky, look where it got me. Here, in the middle of nowhere.
Are you satisfied with that?
No. Yes. No.
You seem to have made a nice place for yourself.
Embersh.
Eh.
Well, I mean, even though you stayed here, the city still came out to you.
It's true. And so do The people. You said they don't listen to me. Wrong. They do. They come here. They ask things. And I tell them things.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
And they listen?
More often than not. You'd be surprised.
See how valuable you are as a voice in this community? Now think
No.
what would happen if we... but you just said...
Why don't you? Why don't you feel that way?
I think that this community comes to me at night, in the dark, because
What about the curfew?
they actually want to talk to the stars, not me.
The stop. Oh, wait.
Oh,
Oh, that's right.
a starling.
You got it. You got it.
Like on your feathers, or do you have something
No, upstairs.
like a crystal ball? Okay.
No, not a crystal. Stars. Telescope.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
See.
Wait, so you can tell my fortune?
Pat Smithy.
Yes, I can tell your fortune. Throws like a little puff of spices in the air. Looks like.
Can you tell me how well this conversation is going?
Oh no.
He doesn't need to see the stars to see that.
Yeah. Rather well, all things considered.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
all
good.
right.
That's fair.
So, why don't you like politics? That's an easy question, but didn't entertain me. Why are
I
you
did it
adverse
once.
to it?
I did it once. For a long time. Long career.
Hmm.
Very helpful
Yeah.
to people. Very
Oh,
wise.
that's wonderful. Hmm.
Always listened to me. Except when I only had things to say they didn't like. And then all of a sudden, not trusted.
Hmm.
Liar.
Yeah.
Negative.
Hard to come. Hmm.
Traitor, even. Some said.
Ooh.
Got cancel culture to see.
I don't know what that is.
Good.
Problem.
So,
Alright.
no. Don't like politics. Will not politics.
Well,
But you were eventually polite. You ate the offerings. If you ask, I must show you the telescope.
Okay.
It's daytime. We need to wait.
Oh.
90 minutes.
How long is this taking?
Not 90 minutes. Oh, God. The stream's already been 3 hours.
We can fast forward it in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh my god.
If you guys actually want to wait along for nighttime, then yes, we can just skip to nighttime.
All right. You just sit completely still inside of the table.
He
I'm
stares at
continuing
you,
eating biscuits.
barely blinking. Whenever your biscuit disappears, a new one appears, and then whenever your drink is empty, a new drink is refilled.
This is Amber's dream.
Okay, clear your exhaustion.
Does anyone have exhaustion at this point?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think anyone. Oh, wait, no, Miffy, you have one, I think.
Oh, what was that from again?
You got it from your search from your.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Oh,
right.
right.
Okay,
So-
so no exhaustion. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
you could have it from the weird starling. And we'll finish out this scene, and then call it a night. So, once the sun set, and it gets dark, lights the candles, or lights the lanterns. All right, I'll show you the stars. You can ask what you want, but I'm not. Yes, ask the
You
stars.
don't ask the stars anything?
Oh,
You ask them, and I will show you their answers.
okay.
He's an interpreter.
I see.
Yes.
Well,
Big smile.
Wow. Well, do I look through it, or is it you?
You ask questions. More than one question, preferably. Usually, people come here with one question, but I tell them one question's a bad idea. Because if you ask one question and the stars tell you something, you're in trouble. So you ask multiple questions. Multiple questions, and then the stars will tell you something. Then you have multiple answers. Understand?
No.
I see. Okay. Well,
And so here's when Miffy says no, the starling deflates, puffs back up.
flies
You will
away.
ask You came here to ask me politics. You can ask the stars politics, but then you will also ask the stars other things.
Okay.
Okay.
Ask them, points at Milo, music. Ask them, points at Ember. Things. Ask them, points at Miffy. Blood.
Oh my god.
All right. Okay. Let's see here.
When
Go on.
you
What?
come
Either that or
on
you
a
can just-
No, stop it. Miffy Mouse, stop
Will
that
we,
right there.
will we get DMCA'd?
Oh no, the answer for that one's yes, unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
There goes the Twitch frog. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, stars. Can I find the notes within you? I turned to him. Is that too hokey, or do you ask a
more.
practical question?
That's good. More.
Okay. Do you hear me when I play my music? And do the people around me, do they feel it in their heart?
Do you want us all to ask together? Is that like the multiple questions you wanted, or is this like a take a turn thing?
One at a time, but
Okay.
all right. So yeah, Milo, you ask those questions, and then once, I think you'll have you rotate and each ask your questions first, and then you'll go through and direct you to the correct answer, or well, to the answer region of the sky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so,
I'm kind of scared.
Ember,
I
what
won't
sort of things
say
is
why.
Ember asking?
Are we doing the politics questions separately?
I mean,
Up to you guys how you want to phrase that. Or how you wanna
I'm doing
distribute
this.
those.
I'm doing this mainly just to please. Mainly just to please the Starling.
Okay. The Starling's been pretty upfront about not helping with not leaving here to go do political stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, how about, can I do one more, or is that just
Yeah,
too
go.
much?
You can throw one more. Like 2 to 5, usually good.
Can the people of Dion's Den band together?
The Starling gives a judgmental to that one. The other ones was nodding along. That one. Right. Ember, you seemed like you were poised before we went on our tangent to have some things. Got your questions?
Can we help life in Dion's Den be better for everyone? And is there something I can find to make my life better? And is there anything I can do to make things... Oh, crap, I just lost it. Hold on. Is there anything I can bring my parents later that would be helpful for them?
Donald's.
Aside from that first question, the Starling seems to be nodding along. And you?
Me?
Yes. Number 3.
Yeah, okay.
Blood one.
You don't know me.
It's your shirt.
You have your shirt on.
I have my white shirt on. My jacket. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to know what's the company's biggest money venture?
Biggest, most blood-filled member.
What? No, that sounds bad.
No,
Unfortunate
they're
phrasing
still looking
once
for
again.
They're just looking for a Limp Bizkit instead.
Yeah, the companies. What is the company invested in most right now as a whole? And let's see, other questions.
Money advice. People come here a lot for that.
Money advice. All right.
No,
do we have to
the
pay-
Starling
do-
was commenting on what's the company invested in, and misinterpreted it as you being like, where can I make money?
Oh.
Make money now.
Rather than a suggestion, it was a comment.
Do we have to pay for this?
No,
Okay, good. Thank
Oh,
God.
thank goodness.
tips are accepted,
Oh well,
but not mandatory. But if I did a good job,
We'll see how.
Or a good
We'll
review.
see at the end. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go on. Yeah, okay.
Sorry, did you have one?
No, just.
Oh,
Go
okay.
that's it.
Not really sure, honestly. Like besides that,
You did
like,
ask.
I just,
So-
You did ask more than one, so technically you're fine if that's all you got.
oh, okay.
Oh, as
and
a
how do we convince this starling right here to get re-involved with his community?
You don't.
Hmm.
You don't.
I mean, we gotta consult the stars first before we really make
not
a
for that
difference.
one.
Oh, all
No.
right, okay.
I mean, you can. They'll tell you the same thing. They better.
Well, we'll see about
Looks up
that,
the
won't
star.
we?
Oh,
We'll see about that.
I suppose we will. The starling suddenly just pushes a wing out, and it pushes over a bucket of water. That bucket of water goes down through the grooves of the trees, starting to extinguish every lantern lit within the entire household until you're in the full darkness. Now, unfortunately, you are illuminated somewhat by the rest of the town, like the lantern lights in the nearby buildings. But with the telescope, then, he directs it and you up to the light of the stars and moon above. This old redwood that's rotted through once would have blocked the canopy here, but now that it's gone, this empty space is a gap through which you can see the stars sparkling. And he twists the telescope this way and that, beckoning each of you one at a time, pointing out a color, pointing out a number, pointing out a formation, as they go through each of your questions. And each of you gets a piece of equipment from participating in this.
What? Whoa. Equipment.
So it's in
We saw
your
3
equipment.
meteorites.
It is load 0, so it doesn't take up any space. You can just hold on to it forever. It is a rising/falling star. Essentially,
Oh, I see it.
by virtue of this fortune telling, you can use this item to re-roll a roll that you made, but you must take the new result. If the new roll is a weak hit, you may mark exhaustion or injury to make it a strong hit, so the re-roll has a better chance of, bumping up to that high quality. But if the new roll is a miss, it goes even worse than a regular miss. Because that's this. So the stars are either in your favor and things are much better for you, or they really hate you and things are about to get much worse.
Now, I wouldn't call myself a gambling mouse, but this sounds pretty good.
And once all of these stars and all the stars are shown, maybe even the surface of the moon a couple times, the
Very
starling
popular.
the starling eventually steps back from the telescope, looks at all of you. Now, I don't know if you all feel any different from that odd experience or not, but it certainly was an experience, that's for sure. And you do have
Level up
this.
experience.
That's not how this system works. It's not how this system works. In my other
I think-
campaign, people level up when they ask me, and I decide, sure. So,
Well, we do have drives, and we probably
Yes.
can discuss it at the end. But yeah,
yeah, I think
keep
we're
going.
just about at that point. So, the starling will say, "I've done your reading, and now you can leave."
Okay.
Wait, we didn't get an answer though.
What answer?
Oh, you didn't get your answer? I
your
got my
questions?
answer.
I showed you
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Over
Where?
there. I explained it.
Yeah.
Huh?
You didn't see the light show?
The stars, the moon.
Yeah?
Oh,
Are you gonna interpret them for me?
I
Miffy,
I
why
already
would you
showed
do that? You're the one who has to interpret it. It's your future. It's your question.
Wow.
You
Rare bit of wisdom from that one.
Yeah.
me introspecting isn't gonna tell me who the company is investing in right now.
You're right.
Well,
You need to outrospect. Ask the stars.
oh.
What? I just asked the stars. Are you fucking with me?
All right. Well, we don't have to use such language.
Awful language.
I give
Polite company.
I give the starling one coin of value to them. Thank you very much for your time,
Oh.
friend.
Infinity% tip. Very nice.
Well, you can always go to infinity from zero. That's the beauty of both. How did you think of that? I'm trying to work into a song lyric, but I don't know where I can fit it.
Well, thank you for your
All right,
patronage.
here's something. Here's something.
Miffy, no.
Wait, no, hold on. No, let me do it.
No,
Let me do it.
Miffy.
The
I'm writing
starling,
on a piece of paper.
the
I'm
starling
writing on a
steps
piece of
closer
paper.
to Miffy. No, okay. All right. Writing on a piece of paper.
Where'd you get that paper?
It's in my inventory.
Oh, yeah, true. Where'd you get the pen?
I stole it.
What? Where?
It doesn't matter. I'm writing down this Okay, listen. You are invited to Madame Acrobat's
Oh.
show. Today to be determined. Please come, or you would be rude if you don't show up. All right, here. So I gives it the starling. It's an invitation.
That was nice of you, Miffy.
To a
A little
performance.
passive aggressive, but yeah.
Yeah, show up to the after party. All right.
Oh yeah. Okay, say thank you, Ember.
What?
I thought I had. I think it was while Miffy was yelling.
Yeah.
Do you want to give them any sort of farewell?
Do you like muffins?
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Be prepared for delivery later.
Oh.
Ooh.
At first I thought not great guests. But now?
Oh, we know how to.
It holds up the
guys.
coin, holds up the ticket, holds up, imagines the muffins with a thought bubble.
Boom, 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 boom.
Imagines the muffin.
Mm.
Pretty alright.
This is an animated cartoon, obviously, but the thought bubble with the muffin is shot live action. It's rotating.
Live
around
action,
like
yes.
Yeah.
A la SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Well, with this done, you may not return until the second snow of the winter. Or later.
What season is it now?
Hold on.
It's middle to late fall. I forget exactly.
bullshit.
Can I
We'll
leave
be
the
long.
muffins on your doorstep then?
Oh, no, for the muffins, that's fine.
Oh,
I meant,
Okay.
may not return for the stars until then.
Alright.
okay,
Alright.
that makes sense.
Okay,
that's fine.
that's fine.
That'll be a season 2, mid-season sort of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who indexes the seasons with autumn 1?
Autumn.
That would make winter season 2, which is what you said.
Damn. Got me there.
Milo likes to do his artsy stuff. I just nod.
Anyway, get out.
All right.
Bye!
Bye.
But goodbye, my friend. Thank you so much for your hospitality today.
Well, thank you for your contributions. The stars answered your questions, so listen close. Alright, bye. Closes the gate,
Okay.
scuttles back into the house, puffs out a window and
Sound-
watches until you leave.
Sound of 8 locks engaging.
Yeah. Goodbye.
All right. Well,
Farewell.
back to Ember's
It's over.
Ember's place. Okay,
Oh,
yep.
I was so close to Miffin.
We know.
No, don't
We know.
don't miff the starling. Yeah.
We know.
Don't miff them.
Oh, I could have though. I could have.
Could've. And
Miffy.
Yeah.
you wrote a nice invitation instead.
Listen, Miffy.
That's right.
Miffy, we almost
Milo.
got miffed out of town. Okay.
Yeah,
We're
you
just
wanted
like-
to spill the beans.
Okay, listen. I was just throwing out ideas. You actualized your idea, okay? And you know what? It helped us out in the long run, but we still got work to do. All right.
All right.
All right.
Ember goes home.
Can I have those muffins, Ember?
Muffin for the wizard.
Yeah, good job. Any other local legends you want to meet? Any other local legends you want to meet?
Not tonight.
Yeah.
Good idea.
We'll see if I make up any new ones for next session. All right. Well, we're already a good bit over, so I apologize for that.
Yeah.
But thanks for playing, everyone. I hope you had fun.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of good moments here, and definitely some worth animating, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I saw
If
your
you want
comment.
to revisit those moments.
I saw your comment. This is a Ghibli place with a Ghibli bird. I think it's good.
I was picturing the bird from Rockadoodle, voiced by Andy Diesel.
I feel like you've brought up Rockadoodle several times. I need to just watch this movie.
You haven't seen it?
No.
No, me neither.
Wow.
It's not.
You're not selling it.
I mean, it's a Don Bluth movie.
It's a Don Bluth movie I saw when I was younger than 10. Like it is.
It was on a homemade VHS. So.
Okay, I mean, so it's no like American Tail, is what you're saying.
Alas.
I mean, kind of.
I prefer American Tail. I watched that movie so many times.
I prefer Fievel Goes West.
Okay, that's in the series.
But yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, we're closing out here. Any of y'all have anything you want to pitch before we go?
Nope.
Nope, nothing for me.
Redo any what was it? The drive or nature thing?
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Drives, natures. Let's see. It is your drives. You have 2 of them, right? So, go through your drives.
I mean, I have thrills and clean paws. Thrills is advantage when you escape from certain death or incarceration.
Okay.
Does that mean I have to be within incarceration and then escape it, or I escape the threat of incarceration? Like, would it apply to the situation of this?
Right, that's a great question. Meanwhile, in Clean Paws, it's advanced when you accomplish an illicit criminal goal while maintaining a believable veneer of innocence. So
I don't think Milo did the illegal goal, other than maybe other than conspiracy.
Yeah.
So
I think you certainly get one of them, right? I feel like if you get to the point where you're incarcerated, then you probably don't have clean paws because your veneer wasn't believable enough. But if you have clean paws, you probably weren't incarcerated, right?
Yeah.
So I think you would get one of them for the day's events.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything else?
I have revenge.
Oh, you should have got that one last time. So yes, you will get that one this time.
Yay!
All right.
Congratulations.
You
The
get
only
one?
thing that I can think that might be applicable is chaos. Advance when you topple a tyrannical or dangerously overbearing figure or order.
I also have that one.
Mhm.
I mean, that sounds like Karzak to a T.
I don't know how like overbearing he was, but he is like, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
That's the problem.
he was dangerous. I wouldn't necessarily say tyrannical, but he was dangerous.
But it says or. It's or.
Yes, but it says dangerously overbearing. Let me think for a moment. I mean, honestly, I think we'll give it to you. We'll give it to that, which means we give it to both of you, because the reason why I'm giving it there is because I think it did increase tensions rather than actually like make things calm anyway.
That's true.
Right? So I think the net chaos, like maybe it's not actively happening, but the potential chaos has increased as a result
You've
of this.
increased tensions. Yeah.
Right.
Very true.
Yeah. So I think we'll call that a yes for those reasons. I don't know if that's the correct interpretation of that, but we're gonna leave it at that because we're already late. So I don't want to go through a book.
Yeah, whatever. It's just give yourself 1,000 points. Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, I thought this was a very fun session,
Hooray.
especially near the end. The bird was cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very glad people did not just dismiss the bird outright as being useless, because I'm like, the bird's gonna be funny, guys. It'll be funny.
You don't understand, guys. He's funny.
He's funny.
This bird's gonna be a fan favorite.
I do think.
What do I wait? Hold on. What do I want to hear? Grain barrels just hitting something. What?
Oh.
You don't have your SFX? I'm not listening to the stream.
Oh, yeah, you're not listening to stream. Stream heard it, but
Mordio got it.
I heard it.
Thank you. I really appreciate the fart reverb. Thank you.
I'll make note of that.
You know me so well.
All right. Well,
Alright.
that's it for us here tonight at the library. We hope you've enjoyed your time here and hope to see you again soon. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.